go.
You really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, motherfucker. What you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Quan from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome in on a Tuesday. Thank you all for joining us. I know we got Liberty Fever coming up later on tonight. I see it right there. Not Liberty Fever, not as if, hey, we're excited, the Liberty here in town. But the Liberty V Fever coming up later on tonight at 7:30. Tid Rose got you right here at 7 o'clock later on tonight. Hey, the reminder, I think we're going to do a final 5 o'clock hour on Friday, right? With Boylan and Debbie. That's going to be awesome. Pivot, Balcony Bar, Hearst and Lamontes. Live, local, and late breaking on Friday. That is one hell of a way to get off to a weekend. The Balcony Bar, Pivot, Hyatt Place, downtown. That is on Friday. But first things first, you get the Liberty and the Fever coming up later on tonight. That is at 7:30. Shall we discuss an injection or no injection? Honestly, this is how I felt the entire time. When we see Alec Pierce out there is when I believe that Alec Pierce is going to be out there. Yeah, I wish you could believe everything that you hear, but over the past almost 10 years, you rarely been able to believe everything that you hear. So I don't. I do not. And I know that it's not cool in this era of nerdery here to wait and see, but I just kind of wait and see. Now, I will say this. Yeah, sometimes I toss stuff out there and you end up looking like a jackass, but whatever. Frankly, if it were me and I'm coming back from an injury, I would get as many PRP injections as I possibly could. I dig that. You ever had a PRP injection over there, Caleb? Anybody out there ever had a PRP injection? I've been injected so many times. Like, I used to do it in the knee. I've done it in the knee a bunch. I do it in my dome. I've done it in the dome before, too. I don't care. If it is going to help the cause of me getting where I want to be, I don't care. Now, again, I'm 56 and a half. It's a lot different than being your top shelf, incredible NFL talented athlete. But it's funny. We were talking about this during the crossover brought to you by Love Heating and Air, Ohio dealer, love-hvac.com. But Jake, a little bit earlier today, and you know, it is something where a lot of people view this, and not Jake, but a lot of people view this as, well, this kind of muddies the water on the Colts with wide receiver because, you know, do you need it? Let me tell you this. You need it. You need it. Seriously, you need it. I can tell you right now. I don't care if Alec Pierce has to undergo 19 PRP injections tomorrow. You need it, which I don't know, medically speaking, if that is even something that can be done. Yeah, seriously, I just say, yeah, you guys want to inject something that you suggest helps me? Well, hey, grab the needle and inject away, baby. I'm right there with you. In fact, I inject at home too, which sounds really weird. It sounds like I have an issue. But I've done that. But getting back to it, they need another wide receiver. They will need another wide. I would say right now. I'm just assuming the reason why you haven't done it is, for example, a guy like Keenan Allen, maybe a guy like Keenan Allen who's been through it and put up the numbers, just simply put, doesn't want to jack with it. I don't blame him. Maybe he doesn't. Or maybe there's something that you have to pay right now if he's added to the roster. because there has to be some reason as to why that hasn't been addressed. And that's not a cure-all, by the way, too. There's no cure-all. It could be just as jacked up with him as it, I believe, will be without him. But there's no cure-all. I just would think if you are the Colts general manager who just you talk about screwing over everybody that reports on this team about the whole injection thing. I'm going to swoop in and I'm going to save our good friend James Boyd, our fan morning show co-anchor, our friend in basketball who's missing later on tonight. We'll mess with him later on tonight when he's not there too. Caleb, he's missing tonight. He's doing this New England thing, watching evidently Sauce Gardner get his ass burnt.
He's just doing this New England thing, you know.
Well done. Here's what I would do. I'd hop a flight right now, and you may make it back in time to play at 9 o'clock tonight. Seriously, I have a high level of expectations.
Oh, my goodness,
I do. Get your butt on a plane and get back here so you can guard Rick Clark. Because all you got to do is stand out on one end and let him cherry pick. But no, seriously, it seems as if that has been a point of contention. Don't let it be. It really doesn't matter until you see this dude healthy and out there. And then, you know what's going to be funny about Alec Pierce once he is healthy and out there? He's going to have to do a lot of things that he has never shown that he is capable of doing. This is such a true story. A lot of things that we haven't seen. Hey, it's one thing just to say, hey, I'm going deep. Hey, throw me the fly pattern. I'm going deep. Now it's going to have to be a lot more. Now there's tough catches. There's going to be catches in traffic. There's going to be a focus on him now more than ever. This is what you have to prove when you get paid. And they are absolutely going to have to prove it. Or he, in this case, absolutely will have to prove it. But until that point in time, I wish I knew what to tell you. I just don't. There are reasons out there, more significant reasons, not to believe or not to buy into everything because we've been down this path before. Hey, by the way, too, before I get back to this point, Kentucky and Indiana in the Little League World Series, that's going on in Zionsville right now, correct? What's the Indiana team that's repping? Do we know? Caleb, can you look that up? What Indiana community is representing the state of Indiana against Kentucky down 1-0 during a weather delay in the Little League World Series at that complex off of I-65 up in Zionsville, which is outstanding. I'm assuming Zionsville or Whitestown, you guys all get bent out of shape, whatever I call you. John Stair is going to call me in a second and go, it's not Whitestown. But Indiana and Kentucky in a Little League rain delay. I always like this time of year. You kind of see it like us here, and they're going around the country watching this. The Great Lakes region, Kentucky v. Indiana rain delay. Somebody could tell me, right? 317-239-1070. Even though you don't have it readily available, somebody could tell me who it is.
I think it's Jasper.
Is it Jasper? Jasper's a hotbed of baseball talent, my brother.
I think
Colson Montgomery from Huntingburg, which he probably wouldn't dig if we called it Jasper from Southridge High School, but close enough. Scott Rowland, Hall of Famer, Jasper. Michael Lewis, friend of the show, Jasper. I don't know if he played baseball or not, but he was a Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana. Jasper's a hotbed. The only problem is there are a lot of Cardinals fans in Jasper. Not enough beer to drink in Jasper to like that at all, Caleb, let me tell you. Derek says, I've had a PRP injection in my elbow and it hurt like hell. I have had it in my knee a number of times. But here's what's funny about the whole PRP thing with me. And I know it's a lot different if you're coming off a surgery or you're trying to cure something. I will say it does work. There's no doubt the PRP does work. They take your blood, they shake your blood up like you're making a milkshake, and then they inject it back into your body. And it has healing properties. But with me, Derek, The reason why I moved away from PRP in the knee is because I found out that I was just too damn fat. And when I lost weight, that's what was more necessary. Easy to figure out. But no, I'm right there with you on that. The PRP can be heavy duty, especially when it's going into those areas, the elbow and the knee area. That can be a little bit rough on a dude. We will follow the story of Alec Pierce. Charvarius Ward stayed here. I think he's got some back soreness in the situation. It's like you want to add any more injury concerns to Mooney's plate. You hate to hear that. Yeah, maybe all this stuff is ironed out. The problem is with this team, you often understand that it never really gets ironed out. It only gets worse. I don't know if there's a cure for that. I don't know if there's an organizational cure. Greg Rakestraw is going to join us coming up at the bottom of the hour. He's got the call preseason game number 1 coming up on Thursday night. Is Greg in New England right now?
Yes, he is.
That. Man, you think they're going to take – we'll have to ask him. Foxborough is closer to Rhode Island, right, than it is to Boston? I have never been.
It's pretty far out there.
Never been. I'm going to assume who's going to hang together. Who do you think are going to – will it be Greg and Matt and Charles? Charles Arbuckle is going to join us a little bit later on in the show, the former Colts tight end as well from the Colts Radio Network. He's going to join us. And Boyd's up there tonight, coming back tomorrow morning. And certainly missing out on Tuesday Night Hoop like crazy. By the way, I put you in. I didn't even.
No, it's okay. I
didn't even ask you. I just
thought
said,
about going to the Fever game, but
Caleb, well, you're not now.
No,
Screw
not
that.
now.
A much better basketball you're going to see down here at Center Grove West. I promise you that. Speaking of the Fever will host the Liberty coming up later on tonight. Yeah, we talked about a variety of this yesterday, and this is what I hope that occurs. And you have seen this, you have witnessed it. And no, I'm not on the fire Stephanie White bandwagon right here like everybody else. You guys want to do it for reasons that aren't basketball reasons. And if you believe it for basketball reasons, frankly, I look at you sideways and think you just don't know what you're talking about. You don't. It's for other reasons. It's for personal reasons. Now, I will get, not backing up your team, I will get what took place on Saturday. I understand, I guess, what she's trying to do. But by now, when you've had to shed your social media presence, you stop coming on with Jake, what I would do is I would try to, at every single moment of my being, galvanize this team together as much as possible. With the outside forces of jackassery, it takes all of us to battle that. The outside forces of jackassery, they can come at you. They'll come at you endlessly. But you got to battle through it. And it takes you getting together. Put your huddle together, your locker room together, and just back up your players. That should be the easiest damn thing of all time. Hey, listen, the easiest damn thing of all time is fouling when you're up 3 and then backing up your own team, especially in the situation they're in. Think about all these jackasses out there that are yapping. I mean, the whole Enos Kanter and Royce White, these guys are absolutely bat-ass crazy. They are. It's just, and it's for the benefit of them. You know, there's this common theme. Well, they're not doing it for anybody but themselves. They're doing it for the reflection in the mirror. They're doing it for the hype. That's it. That's all they're doing it. That's the only reason. Thus, they don't care about you. They don't care about the product that you invest in. So those are just, again, new battles that you have to fight. And you got to find them together. So I look at a game like tonight against New York, and the only cure-all to really help keep all the jackassery away is winning. Doing what you're expected to do, and that is win. And every night they have a game, I think you have to think about that and recognize that now more than ever. that is the lone cure-all. That's when the anti-coach people out there, they don't really care about the basketball aspect of it, and they don't know, or they just care about, the personality. And again, I ripped on that personality and the tack that was taken on Saturday, and it needed to be ripped on. I have no idea why that would not automatically click in your head. But if you've watched this team and you know your ass from third base regarding basketball, you could tell when they lose because of what they do or don't do in this case, how they execute or do not execute on the floor. It's different. And everybody, we know this to be true, everybody in social media, for the most part, everybody joins the posse. And everybody is out to get the one person. And as I mentioned yesterday, Stephanie White is never going to outdistance herself. She's always going to get none of the credit for winning and all of the blame for losing. The lone way that you can sidestep, I think Bill Simmons referenced this as bear traps, we can say landmines, however you want to phrase it, is to win, is to meet expectations. And a game like tonight with the Liberty, and that's why I talked about yesterday, galvanize your team together. Why would you not do that? Why would you not think about that on every turn? All this silly stuff we have to hear about all the time. Remember back in the day when was the Pacers going fishing together? Yeah, right. Who the hell cares? But I don't care. It doesn't matter if it feels as if it is surrounding or if it's growing the team concept, if you're building off of that. And I'll tell you this too. That is a coaching requirement. And all of you coaches out there, you would tell me the same thing. The requirement is making sure your group is as tight with one another as possible. There have been a couple of moments this season where the opportunity was there to do that, and for whatever reason, you're trying to dial down the fires for the league. Let the league figure out what the league needs to figure out. You just make sure your team and their togetherness with you as the coach is as tight as possible. Let the rest of the WNBA fumble about outside with what they normally do. That is a requirement of coaching and will always be, certainly until further notice. Liberty and Fever tonight, 7:30, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. Tidrow's got you coming up at 7 o'clock later on this evening. Rake Straw, bottom of the hour. Rake Straw's in Foxborough, so a couple of things that stand out. The injection stories, and there are a lot of jokes there, and I would love to go with all these jokes. I don't know if I'm allowed to say some of the jokes on the air. Normally I do, and I don't really care. I don't know if I'm allowed to say some of them. The injection of Alec Pierce, which was shot down by Chris Ballard a little bit earlier today, and then people go, oh, no, they're just doing that because he wants to prove to everybody they don't need another wide receiver and everything's going to be okay. Hey, let me tell you there, Chris, let me tell you, everybody, you need another wide receiver right now. Regardless, you need one. Get somebody else, and the somebody else is not a DJ Montgomery. Just like it wasn't a Liam Clifford. Get somebody else that has been significant in that department in the NFL in the past. I realize this. There are many things in the NFL and to putting together a team that indeed is tough. Maybe not quite rocket science or brain surgery or shout out to our good friend, Nathaniel Finch, collarbone surgery. Did you see how that thing snapped? Did he show you the x-ray?
He showed me the x-ray.
It snapped like a twig. My man's got to start drinking some milk or something.
The milk is going to repair
I
the
don't know. That's
bones?
what they always told me. Is that not true? Does the milk not strengthen the bones?
It strengthens the
Well,
bones.
that thing looked like a toothpick right
I
there.
don't know if it puts them back together, John.
See, I always thought he was a country dude. Country dudes know how to jump a fence, and even if you don't land on your feet, you can fall right.
Here's what he didn't tell me about this.
Yeah.
So, like, to initiate the audience here, Nathaniel he's a great producer on this station, does so much here, and you hear him from time to time. Well, he broke his collarbone over the weekend.
He did.
And he initially didn't say why, John, but I found out today, like, it wasn't just him jumping over a fence, which is how he put it. He was playing wiffle ball.
Wiffle ball.
So, like, we could have.
So he was trying to make a Dudas-like catch, is what you were saying. Yeah, okay. He was trying to be Brendan Dudas.
Way more understandable than just saying, I tried to jump over a fence. I was being real immature. He didn't, like, explain it. And I said, dude, like, this is way more understandable now. Like, I really feel bad for you.
Broke his collarbone playing wiffle ball. That is better, but I don't know how much better that is. A little bit better. We feel for him, though. Milk, as they used to say, does your body good, I guess, although I did have some chocolate milk this morning. I did too.
I went to Kroger, saw Tally.
Tally was running around. Tally was. I wonder what Tally goes by every day in Kroger, and it never leaves the shelves. Like Tally, like, rolls by the salmon in a can, and it's always there. Yeah. Right? This never leaves. It's always there. Tally will bump into you, too.
Mm-hmm.
Between Tally and those people shopping for everybody out there, that's some dangerous territory in those Kroger aisles. But shout out to our good friend Nathaniel Finch, having surgery tomorrow for the broken collarbone sustained by jumping the fence. Evidently playing wiffle ball while jumping the fence, which is all right. But no, doubling back to the whole Colts thing, I don't buy anything until I see it. And while you get all the great news regarding Daniel Jones, that's fantastic. When Daniel Jones, like today, when you're playing against guys, and it's still going to be different in a joint practice going on in Foxborough, it's going to be different. But in that week number one, when they're actually out there to try to rip your head off, that's when it's going to be different. But the one thing we do know is you look at this wide receiving core, and there's nothing against Westbrook-Ikhine, nothing against Ashton Dulin. Dulin, I like a great deal, but you can just see that they are going to need some help. They're going to need help in a lot of areas, and you just wonder why some of those areas in what has been described, Nathaniel Finch and your collarbone, a make or break type of season. And I heard Jake a little bit earlier talk about, well, maybe you just size up this year and you think about the past, and they're having conversations within the organization about, hey, things happen. Things happen that you can't control. And I believe in these guys. If they don't get to the postseason, there should be nothing, no reason, none. And the only reason I can think of is because either A, you don't want to jack with going out and finding somebody else, or that you're okay with the price tag, and then altogether that makes us think about something else. So make or break is exact terminology. Greg Rakestraw, bottom of the hour, will discuss a lot of that and what he witnessed during this joint practice today in Foxborough with the Colts and the Patriots. So evidently, Dadbot Sports and Rooster were incredibly wrong. The Pacers got nothing and liked it? Like opening week? Christmas?
No opening week, no Christmas.
Nothing. And then it begs the question, when are we going to find out their content provider? If it's, and I hate to do it because you know how much I love the Pacers, and I'm just jonesing for this thing to work. I'm just waiting on it. I almost like the fact that they didn't get any of these games because I want them to just shove it. You see, look at me getting all pissed right here. Shove it up the rear end of the NBA. Take that. There you go. All right, New York got a reprieve. The only reason why you're the champions is because the Pacers were injury compromised. But I cannot be silent if the content provider and the price tag is jacked up. Can't do it. That's going to be rough. One of these days, you'd think relatively soon we're going to find something out, right? How many of the teams right now logistically have their content provider figured out? Do we know?
Well, I think what happened was it was about 8 of them that had the whole FanDuel stuff the last couple years, and then so that ended after last year.
Right.
So there was about 8 or so free agent teams, if you will. And as far as I know, the Timberwolves are the only one from that group that have their deal done with the Zone.
Did they like for you with the budget that you have right now? Does that deal look okay to you? The Timberwolves.
If it again, we talked yesterday. Their price hasn't been released yet, but if it's that $34.99, which was what was rumored and what some of their other stuff is with other sports, then I mean,
yeah,
that's
you guys can't do that around here. Don't do that around here.
No.
Don't do it. We're Steven Simon. Don't do it, Steve. Don't do it. Don't do it. We've got to. I'm trying to galvanize everybody around here too.
Yeah.
Let's galvanize everybody with this product. And you got the next 2 years to prove people around here accurate. Cannot jack with the carrier at that fee. Can't do it. All right, quick break. We shall return. So I guess now the weather is out of here, correct?
I think so.
Yeah, we'll find out coming up next. We do have an update courtesy of Fox 59, as I mentioned, too, coming up at the 5 o'clock hour. We will be joined by Charles Arbuckle, the former Colts tight end, a Colts radio network guy. He's going to join us. We'll talk about what's going on at Foxborough, preseason game number 1. So you're getting Anthony Richardson, the starting and playing the first half on Thursday, Riley Leonard the second. They're going to flip-flop that against the Falcons. That is how we're looking at quarterback for the Colts moving into Friday. The depth chart has been released. Charvarius Ward stayed home. Alec Pierce didn't get injected. And Sauce Gardner evidently was getting worked by A.J. Brown a little bit earlier today. We'll find out how accurate all that is with Greg Rakestraw. That is coming up on the other side. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Here's your Fox 59 weather update.
Today's forecast from the Fox 59 Weather Authority.
Gusty storms continue across the region this evening. More scattered storms in the forecast tonight. Temperatures cool to around 70 degrees. More rain expected on Wednesday. Few gusty storms possible. Highs near 87. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Kendall Wilson for The Fan.
Hey, John here for Andy Barber, GMC, 131st State Road 37. That is in Fishers. I had a conversation with my good friend Eric Wilson, who is there to help you and help you out right now. I'm making sure you get the ride of your choice. So you started back to school and you thought, you know what, I need something a little bit new. Maybe you're all summer long driving around. Something new at now is what you're looking at. And I'll give you this. I'll give you the Buick Enclave. The Buick Enclave, in a variety of styles, is the hottest SUV on the automobile or manufacturing market right now. And that manufacturer is also the hottest. That is Buick. Great deals and something that is going to fit your budget. A variety of styles and the inventory that is ready to roll when you are ready to buy. Eric Wilson, talk to him today. The incentives to buy, the service after the sale, that is maintaining the expectancy, raising the bar on the life expectancy of your vehicle. In this case, your Buick Enclave. My friend Eric Wilson, Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st, State Road 37 in Fishers. The best in realty, Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232. That's markdietel.com, DIETEL.com. Today, Crystal Franklin moving to Kentucky, needed to move fast. Heard about Mark Dietel on the radio show. The marketing plan was there, so the action was taken, and Crystal was blown away. The plan worked. Full list price offer first weekend, in fact. And just like that, Mark Dietel gets it done. That's what Mark will do for you. In fact, the only real estate expert that I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. It's Mark Dietel Realty, 317-755-4232. It's markdietel.com, DIETEL.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
Thank you for your support.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
There you go. So Caleb yesterday was rocking a Tribe Called Quest shirt that I was jealous about right there. What size was that? A small or a medium you were rocking?
It was a large.
I could definitely wear that. I'm in a medium right now, buddy.
All right. Anytime you want to lend it.
I like it. Where'd you get that thing?
I think I just got it online. It might have been a Christmas gift. I can't remember.
Did you know that your friend right here, your mentor, saw a Tribe Called Quest in 1994 at Lollapalooza?
You told me this yesterday.
Love it, buddy. Great stuff. That was the Beastie Boys, Smashing Pumpkins, Parliament. And I remember just a little. I remember this enough. I think I had reached my limit, and the Smashing Pumpkins from Siamese Dream, they were playing today, and I was in the bathroom as I had reached my limit and was trying to execute an exit strategy. While today is the great in the background. I go, oh man, I'm missing it. I got to get the bad out though. The bad had to get out. Hey, I got a great idea regarding Tally. I think, and this is my idea, and I always argue because Kroger is not an advertiser of this show, which is just complete and utter BS. It is, seriously. As much money as I spend there, BS. I don't know who's in charge of it, but it's BS. And if I had your name, I'd call you out for it. However, there's a way I think we can get something done. How about if we hang a Ride with JMV sign or have people out there hang signs on Tally when they're working their way through the store?
Yeah.
I got to have somebody. Can somebody hang and not stick? You don't hurt Tally, but can we hang a Ride with JMV sign on Tally?
It'd be better than a kick me sign on
Tally.
Tally.
I think that'd be great. Just somebody in there, hang a sign on Tally, and then take a picture of it. Just don't hurt Tally because we love
with
Tally.
this.
We love Tally.
I do. Yes. Come on. I think we need to get this into motion.
That is called. I think this is called guerrilla advertising. Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, like guerrilla radio with
Okay.
Rage Against the Machine, guerrilla advertising. So we're out there doing whatever we can. So a ride with JMV or a JMV sucks sign. See, a JMV sucks sign would easily get confiscated. You might be able to hang a ride with JMV sign on there and have it last a little bit longer. Take a picture of that bad boy. Let me know. Kroger locations with our good friend Tally. Is Greg ready? On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Greg, you've done this before. Is that called or described as guerrilla advertising, what I just said?
Earned media is what people are referring to it as these days.
Okay.
By the way, who is Towley? Because
Tally?
when I think of Towley, I think of a character from South Park.
Tally is Tally. It's the robot that goes around Kroger, and it sizes up the inventory in the store. It's one of those things that will replace human beings one of these days. It's like Rosie. It's like Rosie. You know, Rosie from the Jetsons was like the Jetsons robot housekeeper. That's kind of what Tally is.
So again, in your slight bit of Southern Indiana twang you still have left.
Sure.
I am hearing this as Towley, who was a character that had a significant weed habit on South Park. So I was getting a bit confused and hungry at the same time.
Tally is tallying up the inventory in Kroger right there.
Now I get it.
I like my advertising idea. Do you?
But by the way, the person that you need to reach out to is Eric Holberson.
I know
he
it
does
is.
not handle advertising.
Yeah.
But he is affiliated with the Krogers.
Well, I've called him out before, Greg. This would not be the first time. So,
I would assume that the other group that is getting the biggest amount of free promotion without spending money with you would be the frequently mentioned Odin Meat Locker.
There's no doubt. But they want to do a remote with this show, buddy. How about that?
Well, as you well know, for the right price, that can happen.
There's no doubt. The Schwartzentruber family, that is Andrew and Isaac and Luke, and Norm, by the way, too, they want a live show at the Odin Meat Locker, which would be glorious. I think we all understand that. Hey, speaking of glorious, what have we gleaned today in Foxborough, which I believe is your current location?
It is my current. I am in beautiful downtown Boston as we speak. Now, this is where I tell you I was in the air when the practice was happening, so I was not at the practice today. And so I'll be seeing these guys for the first time on Thursday with no official team activity tomorrow. But what we did learn was more on Alec Pierce's ankle, was what the pitching rotation is going to be in terms of quarterback play, with AR getting the first half and Raleigh getting the second half, and then flipping that, for game number 2, and that we won't see Daniel Jones at all during the course of the preseason. That is what we learned today.
So we also learned today that evidently, according to Chris Ballard, the reports out there that Alec Pierce had a PRP injection for a second time, those were untrue. And all this doesn't really matter to me. And a lot of people say, well, it comes down to, do they need an extra wide receiver, or if they feel comfortable in Pierce coming back, they don't. But, Greg, I'm here to tell everybody they need one. Go get it and address it right now, and not DJ Montgomery, not Liam Clifford, but address it right now. It's okay.
Correct. And especially with a guy the caliber of Keenan Allen that, again, has a connection to Shane Steichen, it kind of makes too much sense. I have been with the group that thinks they can be fine if Alec Pierce is fully healthy. And the longer this goes, the more nervous I get about that. So if that prompts you to go the insurance policy route and bring somebody in, then I'm all for it at this point.
So what's your level of being nervous right now regarding that situation, Greg?
If it's a 1 through 5, and 5 being the worst, I'd say I'm about a 2 or 3.
Oh, really?
I'm more nervous than I was about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Wow, you are. That's a nervous Lanesville, Greg Rakestraw. I don't know. I don't want you to be nervous about that. I put it this way. We never really know with this group, this team, this organization, these players of this particular era until we actually and factually see them on the field. So I don't really hold my breath on a lot of this stuff.
I'll go back to the practice I saw on Sunday that didn't have Alec Pierce or didn't have Josh Downs, and I saw the way the team struggled to move the football, and I go, okay, maybe it's time to bring somebody in. I had been on the other side of thinking, all right, because I'm a big fan of Ashton Doolin. I know the role that Tyler Warren is going to play in the offense. Frankly, I think Nick Westbrook at Kine has looked good. I think he's got a solid spot on the roster. But knowing how much this team's going to run the football, knowing how much this team's going to bootleg the football, knowing how much this team's going to play a couple of tight ends, I'm like, you know what? I think they can be okay with the 4 wide receivers, that I think they have, including Alec Pierce. But I would say the longer the Pierce situation goes on, the more you think about, all right, is it time to bring somebody else in?
It's Greg Straw's got you covered. It's you and who else? Is it Rick on Thursday too, or you and who and Lara?
So last year was kind of musical chairs.
Yeah.
This year we have solidified things a little bit more. So Rick will be with me on all 3 preseason games.
Nice.
Lara will be on all 3 preseason games, as she has been, and because Al Michaels is not getting in any of our pockets, i.e. Amazon Prime isn't stealing the game from us, I get to be at all 3 games as well, which I'm very fired up about.
That's great.
Charles Albuckle, who we're going to talk to at 5, obviously, he will be doing all of the games on radio this year. So you may say, all right, what does that mean for Rick Venturi during the course of the season? Rick will be on the post-game show with myself and Bill Brooks, which means I may have the easiest job in the Western Hemisphere because I get to ask Rick questions. I'll go get a snack, and 5 minutes later, I'll come back, and the populace is educated, and we move on to the next one.
Yeah, I love it, too, because this also is something I've talked about. That means we get Rick a lot more on the pregame show, which I think is absolutely awesome.
You will still get at least your 2 segments of Rick, if not more than that, during the pregame show. Yes,
I have been told that we're going to get more than the 2. Because I think Rick loves, hey, we always leave a lot, Greg, on the table on the pregame because he has to rush off and get set for the pregame show or the countdown to kickoff part and then the broadcast itself. But we're going to have a lot more Rick coming up this year, which is exciting as hell.
And there's only 2 hours in that pregame show, so I'm not sure Rick can get to all his material in 2 hours.
No, I love it, though. Greg Rakestraw has got the preseason game number 1 coming up on Thursday. He is in Boston right now. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Anything else stand out to you? And I asked this question yesterday, and I'm kind of curious what you think. Is it linebacker, offensive line, after wide receiver where you question the depth and the personnel altogether? Or are those 2 of the majors outside of wide receiver for you?
That's it, and I don't question the starting 5. I question the guys behind the starting 5 on the offensive line. I can tell you who the starting 5 guys are going to be right now. I mean, it's going to be Bernard Ryman, Quentin Nelson, Tanner Bortolini, Matt Gonzalez, and Jalen Travis. You've got Farmer you brought in as kind of an interior backup. You've got Tucker that has played that position. You've got Freeland that hasn't had a chance to play much, really, frankly, played more as a rookie 3 years ago than he has the last couple of seasons, and injuries being a part of that. I like the starting 5. I get a little nervous about offensive line depth, but there's at least a more definitive, hey, I know who the 5 are, compared to at linebacker where, man, it is open season. And C.J. Allen having missed some time now kind of on both ends of training camp so far, that's a bit of a problem. There's just 2 guys that took snaps for the Colts at linebacker last year that are back. Austin Ajike, that's probably more of a special teams player, and then Jalen Carlies, who kind of had an opportunity last year and just injuries didn't allow that to happen. He barely saw the field a season ago. So right now it is open season in terms of linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts. So I'm probably a little more concerned with that than I am the offensive line.
So Greg Rakestraw, he is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. A little bit of preview, too, because we're not too far away from the start of the high school football season. What's week number 1 for you?
Brownsburg and Lawrence North. That's not too bad because of how good those teams are. And again, there's very much a big 6 in terms of the 6A teams locally. So those are 2 of them. Center Grove Warren Central is also week 1, which is going to be tremendous. Carmel plays Fishers in week number 1. And Westfield is kind of the other team I think deserves a mention in that group. Again, the top of the food chain in 6A, I think, is as good as it has ever been in terms of number of really good teams. we have locally this year.
The Great Lakes Region elimination game is Kentucky and Indiana. The Indiana team represented is from Jasper, Indiana. It looks to be the Kentucky team is Oldham County, I would guess. That's what it says on their jersey.
North Oldham, and that is the east side of Louisville is where that is.
Okay. Are they commonly very, very high quality, high caliber, athletically speaking?
It is a well-to-do suburb, and it's become more of a suburb over the last three decades. Usually, the team representing Kentucky usually is from the Owensboro area. In other words, they and the Jasper kids might know each other a little bit. So this is the first time that I can remember that little league being represented in terms of the regional round of the tournament here in Indianapolis or in Whitestown, per se.
Yeah, and Jasper is trailing 1-0 right now. They're going into the third inning in that elimination game as they got past the weather and they're back on the field up, as you mentioned, in Whitestown. Greg Rakestraw, gotcha. The preseason game number 1, that is on Thursday, and it should be an absolute blast. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline right here with Greg. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Enjoy Boston. You guys going to dinner tonight?
Lobster rolls abound. And I will say this is actually my first time in Boston. I've actually been in western Massachusetts, the Springfield and Amherst area. I have never been here, so I'm looking forward to kind of looking around a little bit. It is almost Vegas-like in terms of, the airport is downtown. Like, you land, and it's across the bay from downtown Boston. So, believe it or not, my first time here, and I'm going to get my steps in over the course of the next couple of days because I got some time.
Enjoy it, pal.
See you, buddy.
Greg Rakestraw on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He did not see the joint practice today. I wonder if Charles Arbuckle did, because everybody's talking about A.J. Brown dominating Sauce Gardner. Not that it matters other than in conversations like this. Charles is going to join us coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. So Chris Ballard, an update on Alec Pierce earlier today. The only PRP injection was in January for soreness, not 2 as has been reported. The surgery happened in March. Rehabbing now and no setback. Pierce with the team, field work, and I guess the anticipation is that he returns and will be ready for week number 1. Not returns into week number 1, but will be ready for week number 1. Consider yourself updated. Clayton Anderson's at the State Fair coming up later on tonight. Clayton's going to call in here a little bit after 4 o'clock, and I mentioned Charles Arbuckle a little bit later on. We shall hit a break with the Fever and the Liberty coming up later on tonight, too. That tip time, 7:30, 7 o'clock, your pregame show with Tidrow and company right here with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, John, for the best in plumbing, Lance and his local team, oh, yes, celebrating an anniversary of being the best in plumbing, too. That's LD Smith Plumbing and Drains at 317-927-7186. Like, you think about heavy downpours like what we witnessed a little bit earlier today. I know it was a little bit heavier on the north side. But if you have any clogged drains in and around your home, foundationally speaking, man, that can cause some issues that, simply put, you do not want to mess with. That is why you got to make sure your drains are clog free, and they can easily do that for you with LD Smith Plumbing and Drains. 317-927-7186. Tell them happy anniversary. Make sure you tell Lance and his local team that I sent you. That's ldsmithplumbing.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
That is Caleb over there. He's hooping tonight, so am I. Greg writes this. JMV, have the Colts or Chris Ballard ever given us a reason to believe anything that they say about injuries? Not once. Never. And that's why I mentioned earlier, I don't get all ass in, bent out of shape about this because I'll believe it when I see it. And it's weird, right? Because you got to know when you got to know right now. But with this group, you assume the worst. You prepare for the worst, and then they have to prove it to you to see the best. Even in a season like last year that started out so well, it has to maintain. They have to prove it. So absolutely, you don't believe anything. By the way, speaking of not believing anything, Dad Bod Sports and Rooster, it's a big old swing and a miss. The tip-off opening week for the NBA, Tuesday, October the 20th, Caleb. Do I see this is that 3 o'clock? Where's the Boston and Detroit at 3 o'clock? What is that? Is that accurate?
That is accurate, yeah.
What the hell's a 3 o'clock game doing on here?
Listen, I've kind of went back and forth on this.
What are these?
Can I be honest?
Yeah, I think you should. You better be.
Listen, 3 o'clock, we're going to be sitting here on that day, and there's going to be an NBA game on our television. Like, I think that's pretty cool.
But nobody want to watch the Detroit Pistons.
That I agree with. But I do think sports on
JB
during the day,
coach his way out of a
sack.
sack. That's always fun to watch. Seeing if he can coach his way out of a sack. Normally he can't. Paul George and his debut with the Celtics. That'd be great. That's a 3 o'clock, October the 20th on a Tuesday. 7 o'clock, the Sixers and the Knicks, and 9:30, OKC and the Spurs. NBC and Peacockery right there for you. Wednesday, the 21st of October, 7:30, the Timberwolves and the Heat. There's going to be no team that's going to be more unwatchable than the Timberwolves. They better not charge anything. Can you imagine? Here's LaMelo Ball. Ooh, that's fun to watch. How much dribbling you think is going between he and Anthony Edwards? How much dribbling is going to be going on there?
Lots.
Does anybody ever pass? Is there going to be a pass at all, or just a lot of dribbling between your legs and then throwing up fadeaway 30-footers? That's going to be fun. 7:30 for that on Wednesday. Golden State and the Lakers at 10. And October the 22nd, that's a Thursday. Also ESPN. Cavaliers. It's Caleb's squad. You like Kenny Atkinson? Sometimes I wonder if he can coach his way out of a sack, too.
He
may not be able to coach his way out of a sack either.
He did not do himself.
Those are the last two coaches in Cleveland, by the way,
Yeah.
that have been somewhat at times incredibly clueless.
This is a conversation for another day. But I
don't think so. I think it's right now.
But I think the Cavs lost to the Pacers 2 years ago ruined them.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I think it broke them.
How much of Ty Jerome do you have to see? Oh, my God, something else has to occur here, right?
That's why he's not there anymore.
Donovan Mitchell never is what people believe Donovan Mitchell should be. All right, Nuggets, OKC at 9:30, and then that Friday game is on Prime. Knicks, Celtics, Rockets, Spurs. We'll go over the Christmas Day games, which the Pacers are also not a part of, coming up in a bit. Clayton Anderson's got a State Fair show later on tonight. Charles Arbuckle is in Foxborough, or at least on his way on the inbound there for the Patriots and the Colts coming up on Thursday night of the preseason. He joins us coming up after 5. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Connecticut Water Systems, the absolute best. And Joe, getting into your home, and make sure that if you don't have Connecticut, that you get right with it too. Testing your water and having them size up a system specific to your water needs. Your home water needs an exclusive system for you. But the first things first, you have to get your water tested to find out. So get Joe or somebody on that staff here locally from Connecticut in your home to give that water a test today. That's Connecticut.com to get signed up and to have the best water possible. Do that today. That's Connecticut.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Here's Johnny. Down. David Letterman.
Hi, David. I'm Grandpa.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Caleb's over there. My name is John. Thank you all for joining us. I hit the post on that bad boy, too. I'm a post hitter. You ever listen to the JMV Takeover? I'm a post hitter. Let me tell you this. Mo and Betsy especially. Betsy really loves the JMV Takeover now, doesn't she?
She loves that it is a throwback to her era of radio, which is your goal on that thing.
It is absolutely
so you're achieving
my goal.
it with at least one person out there.
Well, you know, we all the time, for some reason, we allow nerds and dorks to try to tell us what we should be doing in radio or broadcasting in general. And most of the time, they don't do anything. They've never done anything to prove it. But I think two buzzwords or terms in this, unique and organic. So it is not unique because that's the way that radio used to be across the board. But now, because it's been lost for so many years and I have revitalized it, I have brought it back for the folks out there to get together and party every single Saturday night for 6 hours, to DJ up your own songs, to be a part of the event, to be a part of the party. The foundation is built to be incredibly organic. So I hit part of it. Sometimes you just fall into it. COVID, I was bored as hell. Didn't want to sit home and eat. So I said, hey, I got to do something. And they go, hey, we got this number one station. Why don't you slide in here and just go ahead and shred the playlist and do whatever you want or whatever the callers want. And that's what we've done. It used to be common. Betsy knows that to be common back in the day. But no, it is fun as hell. And there's one thing that in a world in which you can get any song at any time, the one thing you cannot do when you get that song at any time is DJ it up and then hear yourself DJ it up. That's an arousal. I'm there to arouse. much like our next guest on stage later on today. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. He's out at the State Fair. He is our friend Clayton Anderson. What time do you get underway here, buddy?
I'm actually standing on the stage right now. We just got done. We just got here. We're waiting for one more little band of weather to come through. Then we're loading up, and we're going. The weatherman says we're good. Todd Clausen says we're good. Brian Wilkes says we're good. We're ready to roll at 7:30 sharp. We're going to hit it and smack it on $2 Tuesday. And I can't thank you enough for reviving radio the way you have. That's what radio's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about an interaction in your community.
It is.
And when my sister was having her heart transplant, every Saturday night when I drove home, you got me home in a great mood and took away a week worth of stress. So I'll never forget that. And that's what radio's all about.
Boy, it is too. And that's why you and I think, are very unique in this category too, Clayton, because we have a great deal of affection for local radio or small town radio, where it's still exactly what you just described.
Yep, absolutely. You got to be a part of your community. The more everything gets syndicated, the more everything gets bigger, the more we're going to have that demand to say, what's going on in our town? What's going on here? What's happening? And the more we can have that connection, I think, especially when I don't want to, oh my God, I'm going to get off my soapbox, but the way that everything's changing, we're all going to want to have real connections. And I think that's where it's going to be. It'll come back around.
That is Clayton Anderson, State Fair later on tonight. You got to go check him out at 7. Before we get to tonight and the State Fair and how fun that's going to be, let's have some Woody conversation, shall we? Come on, I want to talk about Woody.
Oh man, I tell you, I've never had my heart melted so hard and fast in my entire life. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was playing Eldora Speedway. We literally had a doctor's appointment the day before. I looked at that doctor. I said, "Is she gonna have that kid tomorrow?" She said, "You're good. I think it's gonna come next week." So I go to Eldora and I'm on stage and my drummer's waving like crazy. He's like, "You gotta go." So I never felt more like Elvis Presley in my life. I jumped off the stage. Dad had the truck fired up. We rolled back, screamed her into the parking lot at St. Vincent's in North in Carmel, and met her right there at the emergency room door. I don't think she dreamed it that way, but by God, that's the way it happened.
So what is I see all your benchmarks of birth so far. Where are we right now with Woody?
Well, he's 2 months. He's just a few days over 2 months. He's sleeping through the night this week, which has been unbelievable.
That's great.
That's been nice. So I've been able to get back to work a little bit. So I've been able to get a little more sleep because I've been taking the overnight shift. But I tell you what, you hold him and it just when he coos in your neck, and once he's starting to talk to you and wanting to talk, and I'm talking back to him like a gosh dang gibbering fool, and it's the most wonderful thing. I say I'm mad at myself for waiting so long because I'm almost as old as my grandparents when I was born. So I'll be picking him up. They'll be like, "Hey, your papa's here to get you in the pickup line." But I'm not looking forward to that part. But I keep saying I wish I would have started earlier. But I would have definitely been divorced had I started earlier. So I'm glad that it worked out.
Now, how old are you?
Me? Oh, I'm 62.
No, well, because I started late too. I was 30. I was 36 when Blake was born. I was 40 when Laney was born.
Yeah, well, I'm just right over that. So I'm
right there.
just right over that. So you know what's crazy? It's keeping me young. I think it's going to keep me young. I'll be out there trying to throw my arm out, trying to teach him how to throw a curveball. Probably have to get Tommy John surgery here in about 15 years, but it'll be It's honestly been the best thing that's ever happened to me.
I could tell, man. It is weird. You see levels of people when they're so active like you are in social media, and there is just something profoundly different about how you and Hannah act with Woody now, as opposed to, and it's not a bad difference at all. It's just it's a more understandable difference, and it's special is what it is when you see it. Every video you guys make that he's a part of, it's pretty cool.
Well, thanks. I feel bad putting him in. I hope he's not going to be mad at me. I'm just so proud of him, and I get so emotional. We were playing Brownstown on Friday, and Hannah brought him and then took him up on stage, and she brought him around to the front. Heck, I got choked up. I'm a big softy. It's just unbelievable thing I never experienced. And I'm not going to lie, I've been on an apology tour because I was allergic to kids for so long. I felt like they had to make you grow up, you know, and I was still trying to be Peter Pan, run around and play music. And
sure,
I didn't think I could have both. And so I really had to go around and apologize to a lot of my best friends saying, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. And I just, I really feel bad. I feel bad for that. I wasn't a better friend to their kids, but you know how it is. It's life.
Yeah. No, man. Your work schedule, it's not like anybody else's. And, you know, and mine is not like anybody else's, but certainly yours. I mean, you just never know how consistently you're going to be around to do the things, you know, with those friends that you lose a little bit of track of. But and their kids, when they have kids too, I mean, that all of a sudden changes the timeline. It's just a part of life in general, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. It's a wonderful thing. I keep saying I'm on life's grand adventure right now. It's just going to hang on tight.
No, it is awesome as hell. So where did the name Woody? How did we find Woody? Just out of curiosity.
This is the guy's honest truth. We were sitting there driving down to Bedford. We're going, I don't know what it was, some family get together. And we weren't even thinking about getting married yet. I mean, we've been together. We're practically married, but, I was sitting there and I asked her what her favorite boy name would be, and she said Woody, and I said, "Get out of here!" I thought she was just joking with me because that's my great grandpa's name, and she didn't know that when she said it. So that was always the front runner. We had a couple other in the back pocket, and Glenn's her dad's name or middle name with two N's, and I thought Woody Glenn sounded like a heck of a country singer, but I'm going to keep him far away from being a country singer. I'll tell you that.
It makes a lot of sense. But no, hey, congratulations to you and Hannah. It is awesome to be able to see what you guys are taking part in here in the last 2 months.
I can't wait for you to meet him. I tell you
what.
Yeah,
we've
had him out and about. That is one thing. When we were I was down in Old Mexico playing this music festival in February, and a girl named Maggie Rose, she's a great singer. Her and Hannah were about on the same time period. The year before she was pregnant, and then she'd brought her kids. She gave me, I think she's given me the best advice I've got so far from my singing friends. And she's like, you just got to take them with you.
Yeah.
Just load them up and take them with you. Now, granted, she's rich. Her husband's rich, so she's got nanny. I ain't on that money scale yet, but we try to take him everywhere we go. Until he gets hungry, like his mom, he's pretty good until he gets hungry.
It's Clayton Anderson right there with Woody and Hannah. State Fair. How many times have you played the State Fair in the past?
This is the first time.
No, it's not. Is it really?
Yes,
Wow.
It is. This is a huge bucket list for me. I have always wanted to play this stage. I've been out here so many times watching people play back when they had big grandstand shows, when they had free shows here when they started the free stage. I've seen so many people play, and I've played all these county fairs all over Indiana, but this is the first time I've ever and I'm standing up here on stage right now. I got goosebumps. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get this thing. I'm so excited. They built a really, really nice stage out here. This is brand new. It's really, really nice.
Well, and we got the weather out of the way, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, weather's out of the way. It's $2 Tuesday. I'm trying to show some restraint so I don't go out there and get a tummy ache eating all the fried Oreos right now. But yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Hopefully this weather, hopefully it won't scare people away. It's nice now. So hopefully we'll have a nice little turnout.
No, I don't think so. Probably what it did is did it cool things down at the very least, I would imagine?
It's actually really nice. There's a great breeze going on. It don't feel as hot. I tell you what, last weekend, that's the hottest I've ever been.
No, that was down in Brownstown, correct?
Yeah, down in Brownstown, old Rock of Ryan. It was a good time.
Wait a minute, you and Big and Rich and Uncle Cracker together, correct?
Yeah, it was a big old show. I'm telling you, it was a lot of horses were saved. A lot of cowboys were ridden. A lot of horses saved.
Wait a minute. I just want to know, how old is Uncle Cracker? I've never known how old Uncle Cracker might be. Did you meet Uncle Cracker?
Yeah. I've known him. I've partied with him quite a few times up at Bob's house, up Bob's trailer. This crazy thing. A lot of people don't know Bob Kid Rock, Bob Ritchie. He's got a double.
Do you call him Bob?
Yeah, I'm like, what's up, Bob? How you doing?
Great, Bob.
Yeah. But he's got a double wide on his property. It's his house, and it's wrapped in camo, and he's got a redwood deck on the back, and he's got a shelter underneath. He's got anyway, it's the nicest double wide trailer I've ever seen. And I said, what's up with the double wide trailer? He's like, well, if I get drunk and mess it up, I'll just get a new one. He said that house just appreciates the land value. So that's the way he rolls on all of his properties. He just gets a double wide, wraps it in camo, and has a heck of a time.
That is the Rock the Rhine. What is that? What kind of, is that a cantaloupe or what are we talking about? Rhine?
Watermelon.
Watermelon. All right, I got you.
Hey, I tell you what, Jackson County got a good watermelon. That's some of the best watermelon comes out.
I'm a big cantaloupe guy right here. Big time cantaloupe guy. So.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I don't like either one. I got so sick on them eating them as a kid. I threw up, and I've never been able to eat them since.
It is weird. I never did like them until now, and now I am especially all about cantaloupe. I just don't like jacking with having to. I don't do it. I don't like get them whole and cut them myself. I just go to Kroger and get around tally at Kroger and then grab a package of them. So
yeah.
Package of them.
Sounds like it.
And then sometimes you roll the dice. Sometimes you get some nice, really good fresh stuff, and sometimes it's kind of hard as hell. So you never really know what you're going to get, unfortunately. It is.
It's a little roulette.
This is Clayton Anderson with us. He's later on tonight. 7 o'clock, did you say, at the State Fair, correct?
7:30. 7:30. We hit the stage. It's going to be a good one.
7:30.
I'll tell you what, I've even been practicing for this one. We're gonna bring the heat. It's gonna be fun.
I did want to ask you about this because I mentioned this to our mutual good friend Steve a couple of months back. The Clayton's Country Bar is just humming. I mean, humming right along too. But when Blake Shelton mentioned, and I didn't even mention the new place, but when he mentioned downtown Indy needed, a good honky tonk, a good country bar, I thought, hey man, what the hell? What are you talking about, Shelton?
Did you see the post I made?
I did. It was beautiful. It was right back at him. Now he knows about your place. Did you take that as a shot? Did you and Steve take that as a shot?
I took a little offense to it. I think it's funny because Blake's one of the funniest guys I know. I just don't think Blake. I texted Blake's close friends. I said, you need to tell Blake get a lay of the land.
Exactly.
So, because I don't know if he knows this, but I'm the most competitive guy there ever was. So I'm gonna go out of my way to make sure we're running and humming just as good as anything. But honestly, I think it's great for Indianapolis. I'm really, really, really excited. I think he's just going to be the first of many that end up coming. Actually, even talking about Kid Rock, he's interested in coming. So that's incredible if he would end up doing that. I think Luke Combs would come next. They're owned by and Blake Shelton.
Luke Combs has his own bar too.
Yeah, he's got one down there called Category 10 in Nashville, but they're owned by the same group. The Grand Ole Opry is, and I think they're all partnering with the Simons on stuff. So it'll be great for Indianapolis. I keep saying we're going to be the Nashville of the North, and it'll be awesome for bands. The whole goal starting that whole thing was to give bands a place to play around here. So because I know if I was starting over, I don't think I'd go to Nashville. It's too dang expensive.
Well, and downtown, you guys are part of the revitalization that is taking part, because everything else had been, you look at what's been going on in Mass Ave, or you look, at Fletcher or Fountain Square and that area, and you got to get back to the roots of what downtown was once again, and you guys were on the forefront of that.
Yeah, well, I think there's no higher compliment when somebody's told me, like, thanks for what you've done for downtown. I didn't really think of anything like that, starting it or doing it, but I obviously think, well, I'm obviously a homer for the state of Indiana, but when I moved to Nashville, there was this huge buzz about the town. There was excitement about it, and I feel that same energy right now with Indianapolis. It's incredible. I mean, we've got so much going on, so much good stuff happening, and I think we just keep building it and keep making things exciting. But you got to give something. Nashville went all in on it. It's the most landlocked town I've ever seen. Have so many people want to come to it, so we can continue to want to keep welcoming tourists and welcoming people. I think it's going to be great. And the more entertainment we have, the more tourists we're going to get.
And the one thing about it is it does it takes a little bit from everybody here. And I mean, absolutely everybody. Even if you don't know or don't recognize it takes a little bit from you, it does take a little bit from you. There's no question. Hey, congratulations to you and Hannah on Woody. Go out there at 7:30, the first timer at the Indiana State Fair. And I'm assuming, are you going to play any of the Colts games at all? I mean, no, sometimes we'll see you out there before Colts games, anything like that on the schedule coming up here?
I sure hope so. We played the last couple. I mean, heck, Red Clay Strays, we made them famous since they got to open up for us that one year, you know. But, no, it's I sure hope so because I'm so fired up for football to start again, and I sure hope they'll ask us to be a part of it. I haven't heard anything yet, but I sure hope we get to.
All right, pal. Hey, go get him later on tonight. Congratulations with Woody, and send some videos and pictures. I've got to go out there and shoot free throws against people coming up on Saturday midday, I believe. Yeah.
Nice. Shoot, I might have to stroll over and see if I can make a couple.
My sights are a little bit bent right now. I can't lie. So if somebody's going to get me, it may be the time is right now. A little bit bent.
Well, hey, I appreciate you having me on. Thanks for always supporting me. And shout out to all the 4-H'ers out there. Lawrence County 4-H, second to none club in the house. I was in the swine barn. Let's go.
We love our farmers for real, don't we?
That's right. I tell you what, we'd be starving without them.
You got it. Pal, I appreciate you. Go out and get them tonight. Have a great time.
All right. Thanks, JMV. Love you, buddy.
You got it. Right back at you. Clayton Anderson on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. That's the Indiana State Fair coming up later on tonight. That is at 7:30, officially underway for that. So we may have an issue with Charles Arbuckle having something getting in the way here in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll size that up with him. He may have to reschedule. I'm going to check with him coming up on the other side as well. Say, it's funny, like this Tim Smith guy here. And Tim Smith, the last thing you want to do, Tim, is have me lay into your dumbass here. Seriously, the last thing you want is that. So I would just say, hey, oftentimes there are things, especially this time of year that we're going to talk about, that's not exactly altogether sports related, and that's one of them. And also recognize that this show is scheduled according to me. So if I want to talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. So, yeah, just because we veered away and gave a friend of ours and certainly our partners at the Indiana State Fair a great deal of love, making sure everybody recognizes you can still go out there. If that ruins your day, then so be it. It is all good. Promise. You got 3 hours of incredible content, and I can do it all. And that's why I've been doing it for the better part of 22-plus years, because I can do it all. So Clayton Anderson on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Tim Smith, Caleb, is about ready to get worn out right here. That is problematic, sending me that. So I don't know if you know Tim Smith, but Tim Smith better stand down because it's not going to end well for Tim. Not at all. Appreciate you. Clayton Anderson on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Greg Rakestraw a little bit earlier. By the way, you got the preseason game coming up on Thursday. Just so you know, that is Greg and Rick Venturi and Lara Overton. Now, this season for the Colts pregame huddle, we're going to have a lot more of Rick, which is a good thing, and our friend Charles Arbuckle, whom I believe either is going to join us at 5 or we will readjust for Charles, is going to be in the booth alongside Matt Taylor full-time. So instead of playing, as Greg referenced, musical chairs with it, it's going to be a little bit different this year. But believe me, as far as what you get, content-wise, that's what's necessary. And I love the fact that Rick Venturi, who I think is either going to join us later on this week or early next, is going to be able to, on the Colts pregame huddle, give you more of his breakdown long form. When he's doing stuff on radio, you've got like a 10-second window, and then you got to give it back to Matt. See, Tim wants me to bring it. Now, you got to bring it to me. I'm not going to half-ass it with you. You got to bring it to me. You're the tough guy here. You tell me how tough you are. You show me, Timmy. And we'll see how that works out for you. But the more content with Rick, the better. And there is going to be much more of an opportunity of that in the pregame show, which I think is a great thing for everybody. We've always needed more. And in this case, we will get more. Fever Liberty coming up later on tonight. That is a 7 o'clock pregame with Tidrow. 7:30 your coverage begins. I should say 7:30 is the tip time. 7 o'clock is your pregame show with Tidrow right here. The first of back-to-back. On Friday, we are going to be down at Pivot Balcony Bar with Hurst and Lamontes and Alex and the gang per usual. Now, let me know that is Boylan and Debbie Antonelli's going to join the entire 5 o'clock hour. You guys know how much I love both, and especially Debbie Antonelli. They're going to be there for the entirety of the 5 o'clock hour. Is that accurate?
The Fever takeover.
I like it. I really like it. I absolutely love hearing Debbie Antonelli talk hoop. I do.
I think Debbie Antonelli and Rick Venturi are kind of like the same in terms of their acumen, their breakdowns.
There's no question
about
it. There is zero question about that. Yeah, I think that's why we like it, because you end up, there are like a lot of things that we cover surface-wise or have opinions, but with them, they get more into the stuff that either we don't have time to do or the stuff that they actually went through in coaching up or have already gone through as a part of, being in that particular realm. Nah, it's cool. I love listening to what she has to say. I think she is so much better than oftentimes what you hear on either, ESPN. What is it? ESPN Tonight, correct? I think, TV-wise. Is it?
Just ESPN? I don't know. Is that the name of the show? ESPN?
No, is the Fever Liberty on TV-wise on ESPN?
Yes,
what I'm going at is you have ESPN, you have Ion, and Prime as well. And that's one thing Bill Simmons said yesterday is that really is a hanger for the WNBA, just beyond the fact that it is constantly non-basketball related stuff. But it is tough to find because there's zero consistency. They don't have consistency in their finals. And this is going to be a problem that really is across the board. It's just you're more apt to want to locate if you're watching the NFL. With the WNBA, if you got to work too hard to find it, you're probably not going to mess with it. And therein lies a tremendous issue. 7 million viewers they had for the Hall of Fame game. And it was the Cardinals and the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
7 million viewers.
People were starving for football, John.
Yep. I am starving for some hoop. Pacers, nothing on opening night nationally and nothing on Christmas Day nationally. We'll go over that too. We'll check on Charles, come back with you guys on the other side as well. Do not go anywhere. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. We'll get you weather updated right now. Correct? Courtesy of Fox 59. Here we go.
Today's forecast from the Fox 59 Weather Authority.
Gusty storms continue across the region this evening. More scattered storms in the forecast tonight. Temperatures cool to around 70 degrees. More rain expected on Wednesday. Few gusty storms possible. Highs near 87. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Kendall Wilson for The Fan.
Hey, JMV here. The summer heat can wear anybody out, but maybe it's something different here. Maybe with the AC on, it's not the summer heat. Low levels of testosterone could be a factor right here. What about energy, lack of sex drive, mood, motivation, all that? Low T drains you. That is why you should recognize exactly where you are and get the answers you need for free at the Low T Center. Book a free testosterone test and get a consultation from licensed providers who specialize in testosterone replacement therapy. Explore the range of peptides. Even jump into that late summer bod if you're thinking about GLP-1s, maybe medical weight loss protocols. Low T Center, the number one name in TRT since 2009. For a reason. Don't spend another day wondering why you need, or in this case, you don't feel and you need to feel like yourself again. That's visit fixmylowt.com to schedule your free testosterone test today. Fixmylowt.com. It's John here for WeGrowHairIndy.com. 317-522-2995. I'm going to go up there tomorrow. Why? Because we got to do boosters that helps maintain like 9 years with the initial procedure, and the evolution of the technology is so great. Now you get to maintain your real hair growth via boosters. It is fantastic. So if you want to keep the hair that you are losing, do something about that. You're proactive with it. It is WeGrowHairIndy.com, or tell Darren Andrews that I sent you. I'll be up there tomorrow. Hey, just give me the high sign, and I'll tell them that you want a little bit more information, and we'll start right there with WeGrowHairIndy.com. 317-522-2995. It's Darren Andrews today. WeGrowHairIndy.com.
The Ride with JMV.
You are more reptile than man, George. So low and flat that the foot of man is incapable of crushing you. How dare you?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
So I mentioned Christmas Day, and evidently Dad Bod Sports and Rooster, local notable Pacer fan Rooster, was inaccurate.
Can I say something?
Yeah, I
Because
think you should.
while you were talking about it earlier, I was trying to go back to find those tweets, John. I don't know if they deleted their account or what. Yeah,
the
I can't find them.
What does it mean when you delete tweets?
Jeez.
I guess, let me take that back. How are you viewed when you delete X messages? How are you viewed? Like, how are you viewed by the outside? And I know that in large part it's just a bunch of dorks, but how are you viewed by a bunch of dorks? Do we know?
I mean,
how do the dorks view you?
You should feel some shame, and the dorks should.
So if you
view as a
delete
coward.
an X message, you should feel shame.
I think for a moment, yeah. Like, come on, stand your ground. Where are you? You reported this. It was a topic on our show for a couple days, and really a couple weeks. We kept coming back to Dad Bod Sports and
I'm assuming
Rooster.
that Dad Bod Sports and Rooster probably don't care how they're viewed.
Probably.
Because there are no consequences for Dad Bod Sports and Rooster. Like we have consequences.
Because we're people. We present as real people. They don't. Maybe that is the whole game. Maybe you're right about that.
So Christmas Day is without the Pacers. The noon game in the NBA, the Spurs and the Knicks. But here's the Christmas Day schedule in general, and this does not even factor in all the college basketball that also goes on. There was a point in time when there was really, what was on Christmas Day? The blue-gray game in college football. Was that on Christmas Day back in the day? You guys remember the blue-gray game? Make sure that I'm accurate about that. But there was a time when there was hardly anything at all, and I think that was the only game that was on. Or was it the Sun Bowl? There was something that was always on Christmas Day. And I believe it was college football, blue-gray or the Sun Bowl. And now everywhere you go, there's a game of some sort. So if you're ready, noon, the Spurs and the Knicks. This is Christmas Day. The NBA and the NFL schedule. There's no college involved here. Spurs and Knicks, 1 o'clock, Packers and Bears, 2:30, Heat and Celtics, 4:30, Bills and Broncos, 5 o'clock, Sixers, Lakers, 8 o'clock, OKC and the Timberwolves, 8:15, the Rams and the Seahawks, and at 10:30, the Nuggets and Golden State. That is crazy. And there's zero way the NBA is happy about this. None. Because that schedule is going to get buried by these NFL games.
I think we've said that
because
the last couple years.
These aren't half-assing these aren't half-assing the NFL games. These are marquee matchups.
I don't want to come off as like an NBA defender because I do love the NBA. But what I will say about those NFL games is there is also a chance. You never know in the NFL what a team is going to look like by November, much less Christmas, because of injuries. Like, who knows what happens to some of those quarterbacks throughout the year. So we'll see if those games end up turning. Like, I remember a few years ago when the Ravens and the Texans played, like, I'm pretty sure there were some injuries there, but everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's going to be some great game. Like, you never know. So I will just say that, but yes.
This is a sports gamblers.
Yeah.
How should I put this? Nocturnal emission.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. That's the sports wagerers nocturnal emission.
You need 2 TVs all day. Yeah.
That is locked and loaded on Christmas Day right there. But I will say this about the NBA. Hell, sometimes you don't know even when healthy. who's going to get load managed wherever they go.
Very true.
So that's the other part about it too. But that is a hellaciously incredible Christmas Day schedule. Now, do you guys all get together and sit in your home? Right? Is that what you do?
I mean, yeah.
I think last Christmas Day, I think I had some. That's about it. The kids. Christmas Eve, Laney and I got my mom, and we went to Terre Haute and went through some flea market on Christmas Eve and ate at Longhorn.
What a Christmas Eve that is.
Hey, Merry Christmas. That Christmas Day, that is locked in. So do you think that the Spurs and the Knicks will get absolutely swamped by the Packers and the Bears?
They got the first half of the game that won't be, and then I think people will switch over. I mean, the NFL is always going to be the biggest ratings. Like, that is what it is. But I don't know. I'm interested in some of those NBA games. I think it'll be fun.
At JMV, I grew up listening to baseball and basketball games on the radio. I'm assuming David Rowe, and nothing against this, David, because I'm an old ass like you. We're both old asses together, because I did too. Mostly because most games weren't televised. If the Pacers aren't on any of the bazillion channels I have now, Mark Boyle and I will become very well acquainted. And while, David, that's exactly what we love here. And thank you very much for that. The problem is, to reach the audience that you need to be all-inclusive. I say this about radio in general, or this show in general, all the time. Like, just when I talk to Clayton Anderson, like, my club is all-inclusive. Like, everybody's a part of it, with the exception of politics. I don't want to do that. Like, if one of the local politicians were to call up, like Mike Braun came out and he walked in studio last week, and I go, hey, man, on that. Nothing against him, but nobody out there will want to hear me yip-yap about politics. And if you do, obviously my good friends Hammer and Nigel next door, that's the place for you. But we are all-inclusive, and you have to be in this era of content creation because there is so much of it out there. And, David, the term that is utilized more often than not right now, which is kind of lame, but it's true, is optionality. And people that aren't at the games most of the time want to watch the games. I want them to listen to the games because Mark does a tremendous job. He's state-of-the-art, don't get me wrong, but you want to be able to watch it, and you just don't want to have to work your ass off to see it. Like right now, the WNBA, it is a workout to watch the game. And my hope is for the next two, especially starting tonight for the Fever, the only thing that squashes a lot of this ridiculous dialogue is winning games. But sometimes it's difficult to find out where this team or they're playing. And I will say this, it is much easier to find the Fever than it is most other WNBA teams. That has to become certainly much more of something within relative ease in the future. And I mean, hell, you don't even know what the future is going to hold because you're going through a phenomenal portion of fandom that is, for the most part, based upon one individual player. So you don't know how that's going to go post that era. Now, that's not something you have to worry about right now. But with the NBA and for Pacer fans, you have been told and you have been sold. And I'm right there with them. The belief in the core and the understanding that what we witnessed in the 19-win season of a year ago was because of injury and the belief in this core. And it's not about the economics. It is about the belief of those that play alongside of a healthy Tyrese Halliburton that pushed OKC to the absolute limit in 7 games the year prior. You can't jack around with fans around here. And you got to be careful of the price tag. I get that maybe there aren't so many options out there, but it can't be $34, $35 a month for DAZN. because you're going to have a revolt before the season starts, and you don't want that. It's much like what I talk about with Stephanie Watt and how she should have handled Saturday afternoon. I mean, that's a unifying moment. That is a galvanizing moment. And she's missed out on a couple of those things. I don't care so much. Everybody else complains about her coaching. I don't complain about her coaching. Now, the players don't execute, and they turn the ball over, and they foul too much or don't rebound. That's on the players. But she also has to execute, and off the floor, there have been a couple of circumstances that have been high caliber and highly publicized that she has whiffed on. And one of those after the game on Saturday. But you got to make it easy. You got to make it easy to see. You got to bring everybody that's a Pacer fan together because this is the team that we believe in. This is the team we're selling you on right here. And you got to make it easy, and you have to make it easily affordable. Hopefully that is the case. And a lot of people out there suggest, hey, we just got to see this team on national TV as much as possible. But again, I have too much respect and love for Denary, Buckner, JJ, and Eddie Gill. I want to see those guys. I want to see the local guys that actually know and care about what happens here locally, talk about, broadcast, break down those games. Got to make it easy. Hopefully that's the case. Elvis writes this, when it comes to watching Christmas games between the NFL and the NBA, I'm going with whatever is on antenna TV because I'm not paying to try to watch a game either way. Hey, by the way, those NFL games are on what on Christmas Day?
The first two are on Netflix. So the 1 o'clock and 4:30 is on Netflix. And then the Saturday night is Fox, I believe.
All right. So you get one that we can usually, and I guess everybody's going to say, well, Netflix is easy. All right. So first two on Netflix, and then all those, what are the NBA ones on?
ESPN and ABC.
I got you. Makes sense.
But that's just the thing, though. Like, to your point, I think one of the best things would be able to flip around from each game as it's going on. Well, you can't do that because you got to exit out of the Netflix app to get to YouTube TV or whatever you got and to watch the NBA game, and then you can't flip around.
You have to have a television now that's dedicated, do you not, for streaming, and a television that is dedicated for over-the-air or cable or satellite.
Yeah. I mean, the 2 TV system is what you have to have now.
Does anybody out there have one, like the 2 TV, one dedicated? Because I can go in another room and see the dedication for what is, streaming-wise, but I'd rather not have to do that. That makes sense. It is a weird broadcasting world in which we live. Rick Straw a little bit earlier. He's got your preseason play-by-play for the Colts starting coming up on Thursday. That is in New England. The joint practice a little bit earlier today. Chris Ballard decided to redirect the PRP injection to being just one for soreness for Alec Pierce back in January, which was a precursor for the surgery that Alec Pierce had for the situation in March. Only one, according to Chris Ballard a little bit earlier today. Now, by all accounts, Sauce Gardner, not a good day against A.J. Brown. Those are joint practices. You're going to get Anthony Richardson in half number 1, Riley Leonard in half number 2 on Thursday. They will flip-flop that for the Falcons game. So remember on Thursday, too, 4:30, Colts pregame huddle starts right here. So about an hour and a half of this, and then we go into the Colts pregame huddle and get you set for football, which returns. Preseason football, but football, which returns coming up on Thursday. And then Friday, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, on the road. All right, quick break. We'll come back on the other side. I can't tell. Looks like maybe some weather a little bit to the north of where we are downtown right now. But for the most part, a lot of the weather has already blown through. Quick break. We'll come back. Don't go anywhere unless you want to join. 317-239-1070. Text line 317-239-1070. You can phone as well. This is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Hey, Johnny for Connecticut Water Systems. Best water in your home, and I can tell you because I know my water without Connecticut is awful. A well in Morgan County. Can you imagine what Connecticut has done for me? And what happened was Joe came over after I signed up, Connecticut.com, or Connecticut.com, I should say. He came over and tested my water. They run a test, and then they figure out exactly the type of system that is necessary for you. And this is not cookie cutter. It's not something they put together all the time. This is something that is specific for your home water needs. So to start out, you need to get your water tested. Joe and the gang to come in your home to find out what is best with a Connecticut water system for you. Sign up today. Make sure you tell them that I sent you as well. That's Connecticut.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Now you listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Now go away.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
There you go. It is pouring down rain downtown. We just had a lightning strike that was major right there. Looked like that one on the golf course. Did you guys see that one that went viral? I think some guy got struck by a lightning bolt on the golf course. I don't think it was around here, but I saw that. You know what?
Okay.
I think I've become just as big a nerd as I talk to people about being a nerd. That's me.
I don't know what your social media looks like, but it is.
I think I get up in the morning and look at it, but I think I'm hypocritical. I think I've got a little bit of nerd in me. I know that I have a great deal of douche in me, but I didn't know about the nerd portion of
Your
it.
feed is people tagging you, asking
Yeah, I
if it's
get
a
that all
sports
the
show,
time,
and then it's
yeah.
also dudes getting hit by lightning on
I
golf
guess so,
courses.
yeah. I don't like watching the fighting stuff. I don't want to see dudes fight other dudes.
It keeps feeding it to you, so you must like it a little bit. You must watch
It says
it.
it's for me, by God. Anyway, it is blanking and pouring downtown right now. I saw at Northwestern, Pete Thamel had this of ESPN, that the football program received a commitment for a $35 million gift that is going to be slotted in for the next 3 years. The donation is intended for holistic football success, including recruiting, support, and broader program needs. 35 mil. What is everybody going to do when this all runs out? Do we know what's going to happen?
A $35 million gift.
$35 million next 3 years for Northwestern football.
When
Yeah.
does...
Which, by the way, has, I'm assuming a very well-off, well-to-do
They just built a new
alumni
stadium.
base, right?
They just built a new stadium that I think's debuting this year.
$35 million
gift, though.
gift for the football program to be good.
Can something that's $35 million in value be a gift? I feel like that's just like, I don't know. When I think of gift, I think of a little present wrapped up in a box. I don't think of $35 million.
All right, my financial friends out there, tell me this. $35 million in a gift. How much of that can you write off for taxes? Do we know? I don't have the smarts real good at all about this. My friend Greg could tell me. I think you call him a financier. $35 million. How much of that over a 3-year period? Unless it's all in one lump sum, I guess, give it at the same time. How much of that can you write off? How much are you actually giving in this case? Just out of curiosity. Anybody know their finances out there? You can let me know. Yeah, Skivvy says this. The lightning strike was on a golf course in Cincinnati. So not too far away. It was major as well. I mean, big time. Hey, quick break. When we return, I'm going to ask you guys this. So I have a video yesterday of talking about, and again, I have back Stephanie White, the basketball coach, but not Stephanie White backing up her own players in a couple of press conference situations after games. So the coaching on the floor, I wonder why you guys think she's so subpar. Because if you watch the games, the players are the ones that struggle defensively or sometimes struggle rebounding or struggle with turnovers. That's not her. I get the whole backing up or galvanizing the team because that is a part of your coaching duty. But you saw what she did with this team a year ago when they were heavily compromised due to injury. What was the final game of the semifinals, right, last year? So what would be your issue? Because I don't think I believe nor buy your issue if you have one with her on the floor coaching. What would be the issue? Well, they're not scoring enough. They score a crap load. But I'm going to tell you this. The on-the-floor stuff, the defense and the turnovers, that's on the players. Thoughts on that on the other side. Is James going to join us too? James from Foxborough. That is the co-host of the morning show. So Charles Arbuckle out, James Boyd in. Marlon Jackson, Solomon Wilcots on the show coming up tomorrow. James Boyd of the Fan Morning Show. That's coming up next. 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Stay right there. Hey, John for Love, Heating and Air, Ohio dealer, 317-353-2141. That's John and Chris Love. Let's make sure your system is still doing the work, doing the job, and doing it efficiently, thus keeping you cool and comfortable in your home and not costing you money when it's not working accurately. Now, get it checked up today, and if you need a repair, you mention my name with Love Heating and Air Ohio dealer, and they're going to give you $144 off the service fee for any repair. That's just for being a part of this show and listening to me with Love Heating and Air Ohio dealer. 317-353-2141. That's online, love-hvac.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
This is how I eat corn on the cob. I boil it, I go shirtless out on my back deck, eat it, like I ravage it, and then throw the cob out into the back 40.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, corn on the cob was ample on Sunday, buddy. Caleb Zuber is over there. I'm John. I'm right here. Hurst and Lamontes brings us to you from the Pivot Balcony Bar on Friday. Oh, that is going to be glorious, too. I believe Pat Boyle and Debbie Antonelli together with us in the 5 o'clock hour. That's going to be the second of back-to-back games. Liberty Fever tonight, tip time 7:30, 7 o'clock, Tidrow right here on The Fan. And then it is Dallas in town coming up on Friday, and we'll be at Pivot Balcony Bar waiting on you downtown, one of our favorite sites to have a show. We'll be down there beginning at 3 o'clock with Hurst and Lamontes. Going to be a fantastic time. And by the way, Caleb let me in. One of his assignments as being with me now was to watch the 1982 classic Night Shift. And you got how deep into it last night?
22 minutes and 47 seconds, I think, is where I left off.
Seconds.
I wrote it down because I have to come back.
The Michael Keaton, Henry Winkler, Shelley Long classic.
We'll have to debrief at some point this week when I finish it.
I believe there is a glorious 80s hit. Anybody out there know about 80s music, new wave-wise, from the band Talk Talk? You have to look that up. Talk Talk, and the song is called Talk Talk.
I'm on it.
I don't know how many bands out there that That's the name of the band and the name of the song. So you have to go ahead and do some research on this too. Name of the band and name of the song. Like, I don't think the Beatles have a song, The Beatles. I don't think Led Zeppelin has a Led Zeppelin song, do they? Name of the band or the artist and the song. Talk is talk on that. Back to you guys in a second regarding my opinion. It's one thing about Stephanie White post-game presser, but why such a significant issue of the X's and the O's and the coaching on the floor of Stephanie White? You guys not separate the two? Just out of curiosity. Because the stuff on the floor, that is the team stuff. The players, they need to own that, and they have owned that. On the other side, he's our friend. He's been shipped off to Boston, or in this case, Foxborough. The Fan Morning Show, The Athletic. He was MIA this morning on the Fan Morning Show. James Boyd is with us right now. Hello, James.
What's up, guys?
So, are you on a flight right now to get back here to play at 9 o'clock tonight, or what's happening?
No, I was tempted, though. I'm not going to lie. I was looking like, man, if I could make it back to get a run in, I would. But I guess I got to stay here and, do the job, the real job.
So when are you coming back?
Coming back tomorrow morning. I will not stay for the game because Daniel Jones isn't playing in the game, quite frankly.
Yeah. So you get Anthony Richardson in the first half Thursday, Riley Leonard in the second half. I didn't hear today why, I guess, is that the protocol that's going to go with the quarterbacks. And I know they're going to flip-flop this against the Falcons, but why are they going to start the way they're starting on Thursday?
There is no real reason behind it, John. It's just a preference, I guess, for the coaching staff. I probably should have followed up a little bit more on that with Shane Steichen, but the bottom line is they continue to split the reps pretty evenly with the QBs, but in my opinion, I would still right now have it ranked Daniel Jones, then Riley, then AR, because I think that Riley's just shown a little bit more consistency throughout training camp.
All right, so rumor has it, because I sure as hell wasn't there, you were. Rumor has it that Sauce Gardner and A.J. Brown had some battles out there today that Sauce really didn't measure up to the Patriots wide receiver. What'd you see?
It's funny you bring this up because there's one play that's gone viral, and it was a one-on-one route where Sauce Gardner slipped, and A.J. Brown catches the ball easily. The crowd goes crazy. And so that clip has gone everywhere now. But that, to me, wasn't the full recap of what happened in practice. I thought Sauce did a pretty good job against A.J. Brown. He had his moments where he had a couple pass breakups, sticky in coverage. And then overall, I thought the Colts defense actually ended practice on a high note there by ending it with an interception of Drake May. Cam Bynum got the interception, but Sauce Gardner was in coverage. And you think about, that play early on where people are, hooting and hollering about him falling. You notice Drake May didn't test him in that moment. Again, by trying to go back to A.J. Brown, he tried to force it over the middle of the field, and it still ended up being an interception. So I think that one play, just kind of clouds what really happened today, and I thought Sauce looked pretty good.
What's up, buddy? James Boyd rocking our favorite hat right now via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. There he is. If you're checking him out on YouTube.
Got my Hoosier Gym t-shirt on too, baby.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Hey, how's it feel not having to deal with a Tuesday night with Rick Clark? I mean, that's worth it, right, to be in Massachusetts?
Yeah, it might be, but I think I love the rest of y'all so a little bit more. Shout out to my guy Rick and opening up the gym for us. But yeah, things can get a little competitive and contentious on Tuesday night.
Man, no doubt about that. What else have you gathered? And this is just surface stuff that I brought up at the start, and you can get into the whole PRP thing if you want. I know, Chris Ballard felt the need to clarify that today. How did all that transpire from you being there?
Yeah, I am so glad you asked me this question. So to give you the radio version, because one day I should write a book about how this stuff goes.
Sure.
The bottom line is Adam Schefter went on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and he kind of mentioned in passing that, oh, by the way, Alec Pierce got another shot in his ankle. So I do what any reporter would. I reached out to people in the know within their organization, and I was told, and not just me, several reporters on the beat, Mike Chappell, Nathan Brown, people have been here for a while, that this second injection did happen. And so I report that, go to sleep, wake up this morning, and you get a text saying, oh, you know what, actually, this was me misspeaking, according to a source that I know in the building. And so that got to the point where Chris Ballard probably felt the need to come out and just set the record straight on Alec Pierce. So to my knowledge, according to Chris Ballard, he did not get a second injection, even though, like I said, someone within the organization 24 hours ago said he did. So I don't think that it's necessarily a lie. It could have been a genuine misunderstanding, but the bottom line is I think that type sort of messaging can be confusing for fans. And to be honest, it's kind of confusing for reporters. I do take my job seriously. I know I joke around with you all a lot, but I wouldn't put anything out there without vetting it first thoroughly. And then to wake up to that sort of message this morning and having to re-explain it or put it out there, re-report it is kind of crazy. But it's something that I think will not happen anytime soon, or I can't say ever again, because this is a weird game that we play with the sources, but that's the latest on that.
So James Boyd of the Fan Morning Show on The Athletic with us, honestly, I think most people would firmly believe you or your colleagues over the Colts for the past almost 10 years. Now, I'll believe all this is going to happen when I see him out there in week number 1. And I honestly, James, think that's a fair assessment to make, knowing what we have gone through over all these years recently.
Absolutely. I think people should have their doubts about, what the Colts could be overall as a team. And when it comes to some of the injury news, and it doesn't help when, again, you kind of have to go back and, correct some things as a reporter because you were told one thing, but then in reality, it might be something else. But I will say, just getting away from the PRP injections and all that talk, it was good to see Alec Pierce out there in cleats doing something football related. Now, we couldn't videotape any of that. That was against the policy, but I did see him, jogging and running a little bit and doing some things on the field, which just hadn't been the case really at all.
So he hasn't been out there at all prior to today. It's almost like that this was a little dog and pony show for you guys a little bit.
Yeah. There's a lot going on,
Seriously.
John. It was a busy morning.
Yeah.
Very busy morning.
I mean, do you guys feel like that was weird considering what you hadn't seen, and then all of a sudden now with the Ballard announcement of what he says happened, what didn't happen, then there's Alec Pierce all of a sudden right there. Was that a little odd?
Yeah, it was odd, the timing of it, but I try not to read too much into things, give people the benefit of the doubt. But I will say it was good to see him out there. And yes, John, he really hadn't done a whole lot previously. Like when I saw him at other practices, he was usually just standing off to the side talking to Reggie Wayne, Shane Steichen. But today he actually did a couple of football things. But again, no official participation in practice, but it was good to see him out there. And hopefully you see him out there for week 1.
That is James Boyd of The Athletic and the Fan Morning Show. He's joining us from New England on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. A lot of people have brought up, hey, these are measures they're taking because they don't want to go out and get somebody else. And obviously that focus has been that of Keenan Allen. I don't think this, to me, is a testimonial of what they believe they don't need. Anybody with eyeballs or acumen here whatsoever, football-wise, understands that they need somebody else with those wide receivers in that particular group. It doesn't matter the hell of Alec Pierce or anything else. They need something more than DJ Montgomery. I think we could all be on the same page with that in mind, can we not?
Yeah, and that was one of my takeaways today, John, from watching practice, especially when they got down to like the red zone. A lot of the success they had was through Tyler Warren or Josh Downs, and if it wasn't those two, the completions were kind of hard to come by. I thought Daniel Jones did a fine job today. He had his good moments and some moments that looked a little rough, but I can't put it all on him or the offensive line or even the play caller. I just think that you can't scheme your way into more talent. Like you can get away with it for a little bit if you get banged up throughout the season, but I do think the Colts need to invest in their wide receiver room, whether Alec Pierce comes back fully healthy or not.
James Boyd's with us. Charvarius Ward stayed behind with, I think, what was described as or two things. One was a back aggravation of sorts. What more do you know about that?
That's all we know for now. I did ask Chris Ballard, hey, do you expect this to be a long-term thing? He said he couldn't give a timeline on it. that don't sound great. And so anytime I hear about back things and timelines and stuff not being clear, I get a little worried about it. And just from a mental standpoint, I don't want to go too far with this. I do want to hear from Javarius Ward himself, but I start to think myself of him like, man, this dude has been through so much, whether it's injuries or off the field things with his family and things like that, where you wonder how much is weighing on this dude to still play the game of football, to still play in the NFL. So we'll probably hear from him at some point later this week, hopefully get an update. And I'll definitely keep asking even behind the scenes what's going on and bringing you the proper report the first time. But in my opinion, it was certainly a development that we can't just ignore or overlook because he's supposed to be a big, big part of this defense, as you know, John.
I will say this, James, and I like him a great deal, but it's always hard for me to comprehend those that seemingly, and I think that this was accurate, seemingly have 1 foot out the door and then kind of bring themselves back in. It seems like if you're kind of retired at some point, then you're fully retired. This is always going to worry me, even beyond the fact that the guy has been through so much, both mentally and physically. It just makes you wonder what the breaking point might be for him.
Absolutely. You know, he's only human, and he's also talked candidly about thinking about retirement and walking away from the game, and how I loved it when he flexed about it. He's already accomplished everything you can dream of in the sport. This is an undrafted guy who's been in the league now for about a decade. He's started in multiple Super Bowls. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been a Pro Bowler. He's been an All-Pro. He's gotten 2 lucrative contracts. And so he's done everything that you can imagine that you dream of when you're 5, 6, 11 years old. And so, yes, I do think that that's a conversation he has to have with himself, probably more often than other athletes. But at the same time, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. We'll see if there's any updates provided later this week and as we get closer to the season, because like I said, they have built their defense in part with him in mind. And so I think that he's going to be a big part of this defense. Hopefully he can get healthy and stay healthy and kind of end his career on his own terms.
So do you think Anthony Richardson makes this team?
I do. And I know a lot of that chatter has gotten louder over the last couple of days. I will admit the night practice that actually Caleb Zuber was at the other day, it was not good.
He's been to more than I have.
Yeah, well, you're a hoops guy. You're a hooper, so I would expect you to be out there on the grass. And, you typically, practice is over by the time your show starts. So
exactly.
You're off the hook there.
Thank you very much for giving me that relief right there. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got your back there. But my thing is that with Anthony, I just think you need to see more consistency. He had a rough day, like I said last week. He actually looked better today. I thought him and Riley were more consistent today against the Patriots, fittingly, against a different team. But I don't know if it's enough to say you'll be the backup. But I also don't think that it's been so egregious where you just cut ties with the number 4 pick altogether. I think that if anything, even if he is your QB3, what's the harm in keeping him around? I mean, he has won games for you in the past. And you do have some injury history in your quarterback room beyond just him. Daniel Jones isn't the most durable guy. Riley Leonard isn't the most durable guy. So I wouldn't mind keeping a guy as my 3rd guy who's already won 8 games in the NFL.
What have you thought about Arden Key, 1, and then ultimately missing game number 1 is Taylor Britt with that suspension that we saw over the weekend that was handed down, I guess, from an incident off the field that happened back in January. Your thoughts on both of these guys from what you've seen defensively in camp so far?
I think Arden Key is going to be the other starting defensive end opposite of Latu. He's had some good moments throughout camp. I don't think he's been dominant by any means. I don't know if he's going to have the same level of production as you would want in a number 1 defensive end, but I do think he'll get some good reps there, and they can just rotate other guys in there. And then when you look at someone like Cam Taylor-Britt, he's been like their backup slot cornerback. So he's had a significant role in the defense. And consider what's going on with Javarius Ward right now. And Justin Waller's had some injury history and things like that. He's a valuable player for your team. So I do think they're going to miss him in week 1. You want to come into the season as whole as you can. And obviously having a guy miss a game because of not an injury, but something off the field is not ideal. So, yeah, I believe he got his license suspended, or he got, charged with reckless driving and driving without a license back in January in Cincinnati, and had to spend 5 days in jail because of it. But it seems like the Colts are pretty aware of that and the possibility of him being suspended. So that suspension will start on August 30th. And so he'll serve that until September 14th. So he'll be out from basically cut down date when they got to get to 53 and then the start of week 2. So it is a notable loss, but obviously not too big of a loss because he's not a starter and it's not for more than one game.
Any names that you are interested in seeing coming up on Thursday in that preseason game 1?
Yeah, you know what? I thought Will Mallory had a really good practice today, the tight end from 2023, 5th-round pick. He's kind of been hanging on. I think that he's a pretty good pass catcher. We'll see if he can flash some more and earn his spot on the 53-man roster going forward. I think that the cornerback room is kind of interesting behind your top guys. Jalen Jones is someone who started, for you full-time a couple years ago, and I'm wondering if he's even going to make the team. And then you look at running back behind Jonathan Taylor. I want to see Seth McGowan. I think that he's a tough dude out of Kentucky, a bigger running back and someone who quietly has earned the opportunity, I think, to be their backup behind JT, which is kind of crazy to say because he's a 7th-round pick, but he's looked good. And I thought today he had some moments.
So James Boyd with us. Before I let you go, I did want to get to the fever, and the call was right. The ejection of Carrington was accurate. The after the game stuff in the locker room was ridiculous because that was all on her. But I thought that, again, we saw Stephanie White post-game wise miss the mark in making sure she continues to keep her team galvanized. Did you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that she's done a good job of that this year, John, but I would have probably approached the foul in my interpretation of it a little bit differently. I thought that she tried to kind of go out of her way to defend the nature of Dejanay Carrington, saying, I don't know. I don't think it was, intended. But do the intentions matter when the results are that bad? Like if we go play on Tuesday night and I foul you like that and I tell you, well, I didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
Does that make you feel any better if I clobber you across the head? And so I think that was a moment where she could have defended Sophie Cunningham and her own team without caring about the feelings of the other team because that ain't who you're coaching. So maybe a missed mark there. But overall, I still think that she's done a great job this season considering all of the things that have happened with the fever. And quietly, they're still winning games at a pretty high rate.
The play was reckless, and it did speak for itself. I was disappointed that she took it the direction in which she did. And I don't have a complaint at all with what she has done coaching-wise on the floor. And I think a lot of people, I don't think they see that compared to, just how they view her compared to Caitlin Clark. And you got all these different dynamics going on. But, certainly the floor aspect and the X's and the O's, it is tough for me to really see why people would have such a significant problem other than the fact that she's always going to get all the blame and never going to get any of the credit with this team, and that's the way that it's going to go.
Yeah, that's the game that we play, and unless she wins the championship, people are always going to be critical of her because she coaches Caitlin, and that comes with its own spear of nonsense and craziness, not because of Caitlin, just because of people I think that maybe aren't the biggest basketball fans and will see her as something else. But as far as Stephanie goes, I thought this conversation would have kind of been put to bed after last year because they made it to the semifinals and within an overtime period of reaching the finals with a ragtag group of women, with a bunch of replacement players. And then this year, they're playing well again, where they've given the top teams in the league some tough games, and they've actually won a game against the Aces. And they're right there in the thick of being in that top 4, getting home court advantage throughout the first round of the playoffs. So, yeah, I'm not buying the Stephanie White can't coach. It's just, can you manage all the other stuff on top of it, which is a tall task for anybody, and I'm glad I'm not in her shoes, honestly.
Well, it's constant with that group. And even when it's not done on their own or done by the WNBA, and it's just that part is ridiculous. That's why we try to keep it at the basketball level. And with the basketball level, maybe they're not completely living up to the expectations, but they've been at least recently trying to close in on that. All right, you're back tomorrow morning, correct? That means no hoop tonight at 9 o'clock at Center Grove West.
I know. I'll be thinking about you, but I guess I'll watch the Fever game instead, keep my feet up.
Yeah, I think the Fever game will be about over by the time we get started, I imagine. So, Tip time,
Yeah,
7:30.
I feel like I always catch the second half with you guys, or I check the score or something like that. So we'll see.
All right. Hey, safe travels back here, man. We'll see you when you get back. We got more time. You know, I make Caleb go absolutely everywhere I play basketball now. He's forced into it. He has got no
Caleb,
choice.
say no.
No
say
choice.
No,
yeah, no saying no. He's locked. If I'm going, James, he's going. Let me tell you.
Oh,
it's the way that it works.
All right.
All right, pal. Safe travels.
All right, take it easy, guys.
That's James Boyd of the Fan Morning Show and The Athletic on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, a couple of things that I mentioned there on the inbound. The Monkees have a theme song for their show, The Monkees. Hey, hey, we're the Monkees. Okay. Dave from Texas and J-Law both chimed in with Bad Company. Song and band, Bad Company. We're Bad Company. And this is one that I should have had. And my bad from Matt. Big Countries in a Big Country. 1983. That is a good song, too. I believe I had that. I still have that album on a cassette tape, The Crossing. Those are three, along with Talk Talk and Talk Talk, of which is in Night Shift, and that Caleb is, 22 minutes and 47 seconds deep into right now, correct?
Correct.
So have they turned the morgue into a brothel yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Well, thanks for playing a little spoiler there.
Oh, I mean, yeah, my bad. I thought you were already there. My bad.
Yeah, I don't think they have yet. So
See, it's weird. Like my son Blake is watching all the Sopranos episodes. I can't talk about anybody. I don't spoil it. Hey, do you know what happened to Bobby, right? Oh, don't spoil it. Yeah, what about Vito? You know about Vito? Don't spoil it. Good stuff. Did you watch The Sopranos ever?
No.
Really?
I know it's bad.
Man, The Sopranos.
Dude, it's bad. You can do this game with me. It's really bad. And I
But
really want
The
to.
Sopranos at least is closer to your age demographic.
Yeah.
Now, what about Entourage? Did you watch Entourage? No.
Don't do this to me, John. It's
Well,
embarrassing.
I will say you probably watch, and I didn't watch, what are the ones that are on, like the House of Dragon and Game of Thrones? I never watched any of that crap.
Spin-offs. And,
You know, I never watched Breaking Bad, and people say, and Mad Men. I never watched that. People,
they go crazy for it.
and it's weird. It's not Game of Thrones, because people always said, you're going to love this. It's ultra violent, and there's a lot of nudity, which is right up my alley. I go, okay. And every time I watch it, I got 20 minutes of dialogue that I could barely understand, and it just didn't interest me. I say, hey, bring on the ultra violence and the nudity. All I'm getting is 20 minutes of half-assed English dialogue, and I go, geez. Hard to understand. Like the Benny Hill show, I'm going, I don't even understand what any of these people are saying. Tough. But I've not watched any of the, Game of Thrones. Is there another one? House of the Dragon. Is that the one right now?
Yeah, that's the spinoff.
I didn't watch Yellowstone. No Yellowstone. I think that's spun off now to like the Dutton Ranch. Never watched that. But everybody speaks highly of them all. Mad Men, Breaking Bad. All right. Finish up Night Shift. Well, after we hoop, coming up later on tonight. Hey, quick break. We shall return. I got time for you. 239-1070. Text line, 317-239-1070. James Boyd just there. Clayton Anderson, 7:30 tonight. The Indiana State Fair. The country music artist and friend of the show a little bit earlier. Greg Rakestraw has the preseason call on TV. Game number 1 with the Colts and the Patriots is on Thursday. The NBA announced the opening nights of games, the Christmas Day games, and it is going to be an incredible Christmas day of sports between the NBA and the NFL. And really college basketball, if you think about it, will be going on there as well. All right, quick break. We'll come back with you guys on the other side, close out this show as well. A busy day tomorrow and on Thursday, and then on the road Friday, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Let's get your weather updated from Fox 59.
Today's forecast from the Fox 59 Weather Authority.
Gusty storms continue across the region this evening. More scattered storms in the forecast tonight. Temperatures cool to around 70 degrees. More rain expected on Wednesday. Few gusty storms possible. Highs near 87. I'm Fox 59 meteorologist Kendall Wilson for The Fan.
Oh, it's GLP-1 weight loss injections right here in Indy, my friends at Premier Weight Loss. In 2+ years deep, never, and I mean ever, have I felt better. And so many different dynamics in my life, and I'll point to this, my health. You know, before this, I was taking blood pressure medicine. I'm off of that. It is completely normal thanks to the weight loss and getting into better shape. You know, the protocol I've taken to get on a different diet to go along with the weight loss injections, and simply put, doing the work alongside and knowing that Thomas, Samantha, and Lauren, they keep track on a monthly basis, whether you do it live in their offices, their 2 locations here in Central Indiana, or you do it virtually. They make sure you maintain your goal orientation, keep you on track with the inner body scope they do. And there's no lying going on. If you're not doing the work, it's going to tell you. If you are, it will explain that too. That is Premier Weight Loss. The 2 Indy area locations. Tell them I sent you today. 317-643-4444 on the north side, and in Fishers at 317-567-9100. Get started on your very own weight loss journey with a great deal at Premier Weight Loss today. That's PWLindy.com.
The Ride with JMV.
Oh, you got jokes to go along with that ugly jump shot of yours, huh?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, damn straight, my sights are bent right now. Talk! Caleb. This, I believe, is in Night Shift from 1982. One of the few bands out there, the band name, keep this cranked just for a minute. I'll get to Courtney in a second. Talk with Talk. Probably more noted for the song It's My Life, which was covered by Gwen Stefani back in the 2000s. It's a good song right here. James Boyd, Greg Rakestraw, and Clayton Anderson. Clayton's got you tonight, 7:30, the Indiana State Fair for the first time. Hey, yell at Clayton and tell Clayton you heard him on this show. Thank you very much. Now, we got calls to get to at 239-1070. A busy show tomorrow. Solomon Wilcots and Marlon Jackson coming up on tomorrow's show. When's Field Yates? Is that later on this week? Can I ask him about his new hairdo?
You can.
What's he going with right there? That's
I don't know. It's
he looks like he's in Pablo Cruz. Is he in Pablo Cruz?
It is slicked back.
Or Orleans? Very yacht rockish.
He will be on Friday.
Field Yates. Look at Field Yates right now and tell me that he doesn't look like he should be in Pablo Cruz. 239-1070. Courtney's going to lead off before the end of this show right here and right now. Courtney, welcome in. How are you?
What's up, John?
Hello, Courtney.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Outstanding.
You have to stay fair because I'm debating.
I think you're going to be good tonight. And on Saturday, 11 until 1, free throw shooting competition against me at the State Fair. How about that?
I think I might think about coming out there. But real quick, man.
Yes.
What's going on with the NBA, man? Why they hating on us so much?
Because out of sight, out of mind. First, it's Indiana and the Pacers. And second is 19 wins last season. And they got a lot more on their minds. They got LeBron and Philly. They got the Knicks trying to go back-to-back. And you got all this other stuff going on. And the Pacers are not all about this other stuff going on right now. They're sleeping on them, Courtney. They're fully asleep on them.
Yeah, it sounds a little biased to me.
Well, that's why the Pacers have to come out here and show everybody. They got a lot to prove. They got to kick a little ass and show everybody that they're worthy of this. There's no doubt. And hopefully that is even more motivation to do just that.
And also, I've been hollering. This girl was talking about the reason why we haven't won a championship is because Forever retired Freddie Lewis jersey, which I don't believe that kind of theory. But I don't know. You haven't been to drought since they've been to ABA 3 times, I guess, with him. So I guess that's why we haven't gone over that.
Well, you got to keep in mind, too, that nobody remembers after like 2 years ago, so they're sure as hell not going to remember the ABA. So you got to remember. Keep that one in mind.
Right.
Yeah.
I will do that.
All right, Courtney, I'll look for you on. Hey, my sights are bent, so you can take advantage. Take advantage of my shooting ability coming up on Saturday.
I don't know if I still got it. I've been off the court for maybe a year or two, so
well,
I'm a little bit.
I played like 7 days last week, and it looks like I hadn't played since 1987. So yes, my sights are bent.
Since the ABA, yeah.
Thanks a lot, Caleb. Right there. All right, Courtney, thanks for the call, man.
You're welcome, man.
And Caleb chiming in. You've never seen Eastbound and Down either? You kidding me? Nothing? Did you just watch sports and that's it?
That is it.
Did your dad make you watch game tape all the time?
Yeah.
I bet he did.
Yeah, he did.
Mo's hardcore.
Listen, he was my coach, so he had access to.
Yeah.
He could see even, how much tape I was watching.
Did he yell at you more than he did to the other
Yes.
guys? Oh yeah.
That was always made a point.
Cool. But you had to take it, man.
Mm-hmm.
And show everybody else you could take it. That turns you into the player that you are today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mike is in Brooklyn, New York next. Hello, Mike.
JV, what's up?
Mike, good. Yes.
Yeah, bro. Heading into the opener tomorrow, Richardson's starting. You know, I've always felt for a long time that the outcome ultimately is going to be the same. The only thing that's in question is, are the Colts going to get anything for him? You know, is this like a showcasing thing or?
Nah, this is he's here and a heartbeat, and he's not named Daniel Jones, and you're going to split time with Riley Leonard, and I mean, I don't know if I guess Easton Stick's not going to get any time. So yeah, it's really nothing. But yeah, you're not going to get anything for him. That's over. It's going to be like the same you get for Will Levis, 0. And who knows? I mean, they may not even make their respective teams in this case here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that Richardson's going to make it onto the final roster because, like what you were talking about with him, you know, this video game, everybody's got this delusion about him with Richardson that he, from where he is, the odds of him developing into anything are slim. And with the Colts, you just know that it's not going to happen. First of all, he doesn't even have the basic, you know, the prerequisite baseline. You can't be a 50% passer and, you know, tapping out and everything that's in there. But
100%.
He's just he's a bad match with Steichen. You know, Steichen needs, that's why I have no problem with Riley Leonard because Riley Leonard has got more of the cerebral, you know, the approach with, that's what Steichen wants. The guy who's going to be in the playbook and, you know, he wants to pick up the, you know, how to run the offense and everything. That's never going to be Richardson. So I'm just told.
Nah, that whole thing is over. But you're right, and I've always made this point. It has been the Generation Z video game kids that I always felt that's what Anthony Richardson was going to be when it never was. And it's weird, right? The dynamic is the same. You get a lot of WNBA and Caitlin Clark fans that couldn't walk and chew gum, much less dribble a basketball, doing anything else at the same time, that all of a sudden believe that they're these basketball genius going on. It is really weird what these two, especially around here, these two aspects of fandom has uncovered with their fan base, their each fan base, individual fan bases out there.
Let me throw you out a fantasy hypothetical trade that I know is not going to happen. But it sounds like in Minnesota, Kyler Murray has got the job wrapped up, and it also sounds like J.J. McCarthy is kind of on the outs, and it sounds like they're downplaying it. It sounds like that's not a good match there. So why not just a straight up swap? We know how much O'Connell loves Richardson. Why not just McCarthy for Richardson?
I don't think. Yeah, first of all, they're going to have somebody. McCarthy. So when does he get the?
He's a year behind. He's a year behind.
No. But But with Kyler Murray, for example. He's going to play sooner rather than later because that guy can't stay healthy.
True.
So,
but the thing is, if O'Connell McCarthy is not his guy, let's just say, the same way that Richardson was last year when they brought Jones in, his time
they don't have time to wait. He doesn't have time to wait up there. He's going to lose a gig. So he's got to go with what he believes can get it done right now. And you know what? A healthy and more invested Kyler Murray probably has been more impressive than J.J. McCarthy, but you just don't know how long that pipe dream will maintain before it's compromised again. We've seen it a lot. I don't know if this could end up being a lot different than Arizona, but that'd be something I'd have to see to believe.
Yeah, well, at least it'll be interesting tomorrow night because from everything that we've heard, everything that I've heard is that Richardson hasn't made. He's still in the same boat, same guy. You know.
Oh yeah.
Making the
well, and that's over. That whole thing is over. So yeah, they're going to get nothing for him, and I'd be surprised, a little bit surprised, I guess, if they ended up just outright cutting him. But do you want to keep 3 quarterbacks in this case? Do you feel the need anymore? I think it's all understood where he is as far as being able to play and is not going to be here. He's got 0 value. So how long do you wait before you just go ahead and jettison that and see if somebody else picks him up? Because they're not going to give you anything for him. That's for sure.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I think you're right. I'm just hoping that somehow Ballard could pull something out, you know. And as Colts fans, we all know, the Colts fans, you won't feel comfortable unless you had 5 quarterbacks that could play on the roster.
That's probably right. I wouldn't hold my breath. I wouldn't hold my breath on not seeing Riley Leonard at some point. Mike, I appreciate you, pal.
Okay, bro. Take care.
Yep. As people say that Richardson wants cut. He wants a new opportunity someplace else, but where's that opportunity going to be? Because it sure as hell is not going to be here. JMV, would it be cool for Caleb to tell us about his podcast? Caleb Zuver and Friends. Well, wait a minute. I was unaware that you had your own pod. Is this true?
It's been out of commission for probably like the last 9 to 10 months because I had a computer that took a crap and now I need a new computer. Which, like, now that I'm in this position, I do have one. So I have started to think about how to get that back up.
So who are the
running.
friends with Zuver and Friends?
It's everybody. I have a lot of different people on.
All right, then.
Yeah, I don't want to do a whole spiel about it right now, but yeah. I don't know who's doing the digging research on me and found that out.
Jim McCann in Southern California.
Wow.
He is our nationwide research artist.
How about that? Thanks, Jim.
Great guy, too, by the way. Great guy. JMV takeover guy. Hey, by the way, you guys did ask, and we still have a lot of time, but Labor Day weekend, the Labor Day weekend bender happens again. Mystic Waters Campground. Me and Brent Halverson, I know Skids is going to be up there as well. The Labor Day weekend bender, and Jim will have to do some research on this. I can't, for the life of me, remember when this started. Is this year 4 of the Labor Day weekend bender? I know. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think it would be 4. I believe the first one, it was the Fat Me. You got the Fat Me in the first one, and then the starting to slim down with me the second one. And then the last 2 years, including this year, is going to be different, I think. So I would say 4 years for the Labor Day weekend bender. We all go up there and camp out in the cabins they have at Mystic Waters Campground and throw one hellaciously awesome party. More on that as we get closer to Labor Day weekend. Quick break, we'll come back. You and I, final time. Again, Clayton Anderson, Greg Rakestraw, and James Boyd. Podcast 1075thefan.com. A full slate of guests coming up tomorrow. We'll explain and bail out of here. Coming up next. All right, the District Tap downtown tonight. Post up there pregame, postgame at 2 on a Tuesday. No better place. You got great happy hour specials, damn good food, TVs everywhere, and a block, especially on what is a late afternoon, early evening like today. From the Field House, that's the District Tap downtown. Northside Clearwater Crossing location 2. Damn good food, the happy hour specials, the TVs everywhere. The experience is incredibly unique. Either one will do, but if you're downtown, the District Tap, a block from the Field House, your destination location. To find out more, thedistricttap.com. WeGrowHairIndy.com, 317-522-2995. I'll be there tomorrow. The Pyramids and Darren Andrews. He's walked me through this for the past 9 years. It has worked out spectacularly. It can for you as well. If you want your real growing hair, phone call away. Tell him I sent you, 317-522-2995. That's WeGrowHairIndy.com. Connecticut Water Systems. Best out there is Connecticut Water. If you don't have that, you need it. Get your water tested absolutely free. Join the gang at Connecticut today and then have them put together a system that is specific, that is formulated for all of your home water needs. The drinkability, washability, bathability across the board. If you don't have Connecticut, you don't have the best. Get your water tested for free and find out what Connecticut can do for you today. That's Connecticut.com.
The Ride with JMV.
We have the holy hand grenade.
Yes, of course. The holy hand grenade of Antioch.
Right.
1, 2, 5.
Freezer.
3.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Solomon Wilcots and Marlon Jackson coming up on tomorrow's show. Half a show coming up on Thursday. 4:30 will start the Colts pregame huddle with more of the input you're looking for, courtesy of Rick Venturi. That's coming up on Thursday. And then we're going to be with Hurst and Lamonte's downtown Pivot Balcony Bar. That is on Friday. And then 5 o'clock hour with Pat Boylan and Debbie Antonelli live with us. So all of you join us. And Hurst and Lamontes with us. Pivot Balcony Bar, Hyatt Place, across from the field house before the Fever and the Wings. That's on Friday. The Liberty and the Fever tonight. Tip time, 7:30, 7 o'clock, your coverage with Tidrow right here on The Fan. All right, the Little League World Series is about ready to get underway. Teams are still vying to be a part of it at Williamsport. The tradition. All right. Have you ever been, after a hit to right field, thrown out at first base? How many people out there has
I
ever...
think that has happened to me, yeah.
Did you get thrown out at first base after a hit to right field?
I think I did one time, yeah.
All right, so who out there has been thrown out over their baseball career at first base after a hit that lands in the outfield? Not just right field, but anywhere. Because back when they used to have like a good arm in left field oftentimes back then, which is not the case. I think the weakest arm nowadays is in left field, and the best arm is supposed to be in right field. But I often saw kids get thrown out on singles to left field in Little League if they made contact at all. So you think that over the course of your baseball career at some point I never was thrown out at first base from a hit to the outfield. I just saw, the reason why I bring that up is there was an attempt at first base after a hit to right field.
You're a Speedy Gonzalez, man. Dang.
Well, I just, I may have just struck out and didn't even put the ball in play.
I was not a very good hitter myself.
I saw that attempt a little bit earlier. It's Caleb over there, everybody. All right, my thanks to Greg Rakestraw. Greg Rakestraw has the call on TV. Preseason Colts games, Patriots and Colts coming up on Thursday. Clayton Anderson, 7:30 they start. It looks like it's still all go at the Indiana State Fair. Our good friend Clayton Anderson. Make sure you tell him tonight if you're going that you heard him right here. James Boyd from Foxborough.
Shout out to
earlier
James
too.
for joining us on a late notice.
Fan Morning Show on The Athletic. James Boyd right there. Podcast 1075thefan.com. Caleb, great job. Solomon Wilcots, Marlon Jackson, all of us back together again coming up tomorrow at 3. Have a great night.